You're a gentleman. You're watching. Yes.
Last time the Yankees were here, the champagne was flowing as they had an American League pennant to celebrate. Tonight, it's a rematch of the ALCS as the New York Yankees battle the Cleveland Guardians on a Monday night at Progressive Field in Ohio. Certainly hope you're having a great night. Welcome to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. First of three against the Cleveland Guardians. And Jack, they ride a little wave, winning 3 of 4 in Tampa into this one. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, and they want to keep those good feelings going, Bob. You mentioned it. It's hard if you're a Yankee to not think about the last time you were in Cleveland because obviously they were able to win a pennant, get to the World Series. They fall short of their goal of winning a World Series title. Doesn't mean they don't have happy memories about being in Cleveland. But in times like these, 2024 goes out the window. You're thinking about 2025. And so my thoughts turn to Clark Schmidt tonight. He needs to be so vital and so instrumental for the Yankees this season if they do want to get back to the postseason, if they do want to win another pennant and win a World Series. Clark Schmidt needs to be a big part of that.
We will talk more about him coming up. Right now, let's get it out to Progressive Field. Meredith Marakovich standing by with the Clubhouse Report presented by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, the Yankees making a roster move going into this series today. Tell us about that.
Well, Bob, they're not going to have Trent Grisham for this series. He's been placed on the paternity list. He actually left Cleveland at about 5 o'clock this morning to go be with his pregnant wife. They're expecting their first child together. As a result, they've called up Yorbit Vivas from AAA. He's been recalled. He's not in tonight's lineup. Instead of Trent Grisham in center field, it's going to be Cody Bellinger in center field. Pablo Reyes getting the start in right field. Jason Dominguez is in left. Aaron Judge is DHing for the second consecutive game. Aaron Boone saying with how good Judge has been, it has been tough to take his bat out of the lineup and give him a day off during this 13-game stretch, so they're opting to give him a little bit of a break by DHing him 2 straight days. As far as Ben Rice is concerned, he may be available off the bench today. I spoke with him in the clubhouse. He said he actually did take some swings in the cage, is feeling much better after getting hit in that back elbow, so it looks like he could be a player for Aaron Boone today. As far as the pitching matchup is concerned, Jack, you already noted it's going to be Clark Schmidt on the mound making his second start of the year. He was incredibly efficient after a little bit of a rough first inning. He retired 11 batters in a row, throwing 73 pitches through 5 2/3. Earlier, I asked Aaron Boone how he expects Clark Schmidt to build off of that performance.
I feel like he's in a good spot, in a good place. I feel like all his pitches are where they need to be. I feel like the stuff's there. I feel like the velocity's there. Now it's about continuing to build up the volume. You know, I think he threw, 72, 73 his last start, so hopefully another step up from that this time out. But the efficiency was something that was good to see, especially when the first inning got a little bit longer on him. You know, he's got everything that where he can attack the strike zone and the weapons to do it. But I feel like all his pitches are in a pretty good place right now for it being early.
And the Guardians have a lot of lefties in their lineup, so look for Clark Schmidt's cutter to maybe play a big role tonight. He threw that 36% of the time in his first outing. Batters 2 for 7 against that pitch. Now let's rewind back to yesterday for a second. Guys, it was so windy in Tampa, and as you can see, crazy windy here in Cleveland as well, but that did not mess with the call of Aaron Judge's home run late in the game. It looked as though he had thought he had hit a home run. He told me after the game it was a no doubt for him. Cody Bellinger said that is the furthest ball he had ever seen hit by anybody in his entire life, but the umpires called that one foul. After the game, Aaron Boone was upset by that decision. He actually got tossed in this one because of that decision. He said he spoke with Mike Hill, Senior VP of on-field operations for Major League Baseball today. Mike Hill gave Major League Baseball's side and what they saw in some of the camera angles, while Aaron Boone certainly made his opinion known. That is not going to change change. It is not going to be ruled a home run, but the Yankees do believe that Aaron Judge hit his 8th home run of the season, but it'll sit at 7, that total. That one they ruled foul, so they did revisit it. Aaron Boone said they're moving on from the situation, but frustrating for the Yankees. Luckily, it did not come into play on the decision of that game. As guys, my notebook just flies right off of my lap here during this pregame report. I will tell you, though, it is time for the Morgan & Morgan injury report, and that brings us to Jonathan Loaisiga. He threw in a live yesterday in Tampa. He's expected to throw in another live on Wednesday, and then he will begin a rehab assignment this weekend. We spoke to Aaron Boone the other day about some of the different looks coming out of that bullpen, a bullpen that has been very good to start the season, but in getting Loaisiga back, that would just lengthen the bullpen and provide a high-powered arm. He said he's definitely a guy that is a weapon out of that bullpen. We know what he can be and how deadly he can be on the mound when he is healthy, just devastating to hitters. And Bob and Jack, you guys already touched on it. This is a place that brings back a lot of memories for this Yankees team. Last year, it was right here on this field. Game 5, Luke Weaver on the mound for the final out as the Yankees punched their ticket to the World Series for the first time since 2009. Man, was the champagne flowing in the clubhouse that night. That is the ultimate goal, to get back there. There is a lot of baseball left to be played, but the Yankees are certainly pleased with the way their season has started so far. The all-around defense has been much better. They're getting better starting pitching, and obviously offensively, they have been doing a pretty nice job as well. Guys, much better. They're doing much better than my hair is doing during this pregame report.
Way to stick with the script, by the way, with your notebook blowing away. Where is it now? Just curious.
You know, it's on the ground here on the warning track. Luckily, there's not dirt on the warning track here. It's like a rubber surface. But, hey, adapt and overcome, Bob. That's what it's all about here on the S Network.
No doubt. That's what we count on when it comes to you. Meredith, thanks. We'll see you with Michael and Flash in just a bit. Now, all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Well, you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. And after winning 6 of their last 7, the Yankees suited up for this trip from Tampa to Cleveland. And some legend, wait for it, dairy looks on the guys. Big choice to make between no tie or tie. Trent Grisham looking good for fatherhood. Want to mix in a turtleneck? Challenge accepted, says Oswaldo Cabrera. Coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we'll fashion some thoughts on the series opener, so keep it here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
It's time for the pregame odd segment presented by FanDuel. The Bombers road trip continues tonight with the first of 3 against the Guardians. For a same-game parlay, we're going with Aaron Judge to get a hit, Paul Goldschmidt to record at least 2 total bases, and Clark Schmidt to ring up 6 Ks or more in his second start. That parlay would hit at plus 756. New customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins.
Let's take a look at the Yankees lineup that Aaron Boone has penciled in tonight, courtesy of Toyota. Anthony Volpe, 2 for 4 with a double yesterday. Aaron Judge's on-base streak is at 18 games. He's batting .388 over that span. And last season against Cleveland in 6 games, Judge hitting .375, 5 homers, 10 runs batted in, had a 1608 OPS. Yanks with 4 homers yesterday. One of those off the bat of Cody Bellinger, which, Jack, for him was probably a welcome sight. And you wonder if that could get him going career-wise against Cleveland, a .333 hitter.
Yeah, it had been 16 games since he had hit a home run, so Cody Bellinger is thinking along with you, Bob. I remember talking to him right before he left spring training, and you talked to players about wanting to be in that rhythm and having your swing exactly where you want it to be. You look at someone like Judge and you say, yes, he left spring training exactly where he wanted to be. I think Cody Bellinger is probably still in search mode, trying to get all of his timing down. But yes, you have a swing like he did yesterday, and the belief and the hope from a hitting perspective is that has locked something in for you. You mentioned the numbers against Cleveland as a whole. At the ballpark itself, it's small sample size, only 6 games, but in those 6 games, he's got 3 home runs. So he clearly sees the ball well at Cleveland's home field.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. would love to get locked in. Defensively, he is, Jack. We've seen some sparkling plays defensively, but offensively, just not in a rhythm yet.
Yeah, and Jazz has talked about that, and the athleticism is there, and there's some of that defense that you're talking about, Bob. Well, that was an errant throw. And this play that he made yesterday to preserve, at that time, a Max Fried no-hitter, you're thinking that people are going to be talking about that forever. But we've seen some free swinging from him. We've seen some calls that he hasn't liked go against him. One thing I would point out, though, Bob, and he pointed this out about his barrel percentage, if you want to look under the hood, he is making good contact. He's hitting the baseball on the barrel. He's in the 80th, above the 80th percentile. So when you're looking for positives that things might go in Jazz's direction, that is one of the ones that I've pointed out. But it's about a 2-week stretch now where he's hitting under 100. Jazz Chisholm is a lot better than that.
First 3 games of the Rays series, Anthony Volpe was getting beat by fastballs. Something clicked in for him yesterday with that double and a couple hits. So maybe he's starting to turn the corner as well.
Yeah, I thought Michael Kay and Todd Frazier did a good job of breaking that down. Well, if this is how they're getting you out, if they're going to keep throwing high fastballs and they're telling you, I'm going to throw this by you, you've got to make an adjustment. You've got to cheat a little bit. You've got to start that bat a little bit earlier. And, Bob, this is his 3rd season with the Yankees, and it's learning something every day. He's still a young player, and there are lessons to be learned out there. And if someone is trying to pitch you in a certain way, you have to figure out a way to react to that. So much like what you said with Bellinger, Volpe is hoping that that 2-hit game yesterday propels him, because he was also on a run of about a 2-week period where the batting average was a shade above 100.
The guy they're facing tonight, Gavin Williams, does have a good fastball, a 4-seamer, but really a 3-pitch mix, right? So is that easier for them to crack the code on him?
Well, it's easy for me to say, right? Because you and I will be watching the game as we eat some pizza or whatever we're going to do. But you're right, it's fastball, sweeper, changeup. There's nothing easy about that fastball velocity. And then when you throw this into the mix, Bob, he's 6'6". So he's already a giant out there on the mound, and he's going to get that extra extension. He gets about 7 feet of extension barreling toward a hitter. He had started off the season really well until his last start, but like anything with the Yankees, about making sure you don't go out of the zone against a guy like Williams and make him work.
Well, we got to take another break here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Coming up next, it's start number 2 for Clark Schmidt, and he pitched on this mound in the postseason last year. We're going to break down what to expect from him this time around.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. This is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Hey Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Aselka with your game day forecast, and the Yankees are away in Cleveland, Ohio. Here's how it's looking at first pitch. A mostly sunny sky, it's mild and windy. Temperatures are in the 60s. By the 7th inning, it's dry and pleasant, and by the end of the game, you have a cool breeze under a mostly clear sky. So what's your moodcast? How does this weather make you feel? Let us know at News 12 The Bronx. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Hope. Let's check out the Guardians lineup that will face Clark Schmidt tonight, courtesy of Toyota. Stephen Kwan, 4 for 10 in his career off Schmidt. He is leading off playing left field, batting .325 so far this season. As for Jose Ramirez, His extra base hits, RBI, and stolen bases are all first in the American League since 2017, and he is always a tough customer to figure out. We'll talk about that in a bit. In the meantime, what were your impressions of Schmidt his first time out? He pitched against KC. One of those things where pitch limitations, 73 pitches, got him through 4 2/3.
He's major league ready, and you want to see more. Those are my impressions. I thought his stuff was where it needed to be. I thought he had a really good feel for his pitches. You heard Meredith mention it earlier. He was definitely efficient in that game. He's been a road warrior based on those numbers. There is what he did against the Royals, Bob. 1 out shy of a quality start. The sweeper and the knuckle curve were the pitches that stood out for me. The Royals were 1 for 11 against those pitches. And just the ability, if you're Schmidt, to be back and to know, as we said at the top of the show, he's important to what the Yankees are trying to accomplish. Cole is gone for the entire season. Heel has not joined the team yet. The Yankee rotation across its last 7 games, ERA is under 3. Schmidt would like to continue that.
I shorted him an inning, by the way. He went 5 2/3. Yep. In the meantime, again, Jose Ramirez is the focal point, right? He's 5 for 11 off Clark Schmidt, and he's always a tough out when it comes to the Yanks.
Bob, if you asked even astute baseball fans to say, who do you think leads Major League Baseball in WAR, wins above replacement, since 2017? I think a lot of them would say Aaron Judge. You'd be right. Well, who's second? They might say Mookie Betts. You'd be right. But if you wanted to know who is in third in that grouping, it's Jose Ramirez. I think people have a tendency to forget how good this guy is. It's not just the power. It's the ability to put the ball in play. He's that kind of player that Yogi Berra would have loved, because not only does he hit home runs, he doesn't strike out. Last year, 39 home runs and a strikeout percentage of around 12%. So that's 1 per every 8 plate appearances. He'll be a challenge for Schmidt, but the most important thing about that, Bob, try to face Ramirez without anybody on base. And then if you do have to challenge him, make sure you're not challenging him in a place where he can do damage.
Interesting subplot going into this 3-game series. That's the fact that the closers for both of these teams, Jack, have been struggling. Devin Williams, we've seen him lately. He blew up on Saturday as the Yankees lost that game in Tampa. And then Emmanuel Clase, he has blown 2 saves in his 6 opportunities. So when it comes to shutdown closers, they're not at that point right now.
I love the headline our graphics crew used, closer comparison, because you know I love alliteration. But, Bob, I would also go with the headline of I'm only human. That's exactly what those stats show us. As dominant as those closers have been in their career, you can hit a rut at a certain point, and if the pitch that you rely on so much isn't working, for Clase, it's the cutter, throws a ton of cut fastballs, and for Devin Williams, it's the changeup. If those pitches aren't doing what you need them to do, you're in that high-intensity, high-pressure position where if you fail, your team essentially fails. That's what happened to the Yankees on Saturday. Devin Williams could not protect a 4-run lead. That's the only game they lost against the Rays. How do you solve it? If you're the respective managers for those teams, you run those guys back out there. You make sure that you give them opportunities to correct whatever is ailing them, because for the Yankees and the Guardians to go where they want to go this year, those closers need to be big contributors.
But that won't be the case for the Guardians tonight, right, with Clase?
Clase has pitched 3 straight days. That included a 30-pitch outing on Friday. So stay tuned for my key, because with Clase unlikely to be a pitcher for the Guardians tonight, that could work to the Yankees' advantage. As much as he has struggled, you still don't want to see that guy at the end of games.
You just gave us a tease coming up. I don't even have to do it, but I'll do it anyway. One last break here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. We're going to find out Jack's key to the game for the series opener between the Yanks and the Guardians. We'll do that next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law. Counsel that cares. Results that matter. Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Great to have you back. We'll get you out to Cleveland in just a bit. It's going to be Michael Kay and John Flaherty with the call. Let's talk a little more about the Yankees offense, and probably a good situation for Aaron Boone tonight, giving Aaron Judge a second DH day just to get him off his feet a little bit.
Yeah, I think those are the kinds of moves, Bob, that will ensure that Judge ends up playing 155-plus games. When you have an opportunity to give him that half game, as they like to call it, you want to seize that opportunity. And I'm looking forward to seeing Judge against Gaddis, because we showed it earlier. Gaddis is throwing fastballs up there in the high 90s. Judge is someone who has been on base in 18 straight games. He's first in the major leagues in OPS. He's first in runs batted in. So, you know, as the Guardians made up their scouting report, or their game plan, I should say, about tonight's game, you know it's focused around Judge trying to destroy that game plan.
Yeah, two big guys, Williams on the mound and Judge at the plate. By the way, down one home run after yesterday. That was a tough one, especially for a guy who is always going after the single-season home run record.
Yeah, I would label that as an egregious call. Yeah. That was a big miss, and Judge said it after the game. Boone said it after the game, but the Yankees won, and you just move forward. But we will keep an eye on that if he ends up home run short of an important milestone.
All right, before we go, you teased it, so now you got to reveal it. Your key to the game.
I'm bullish on the Yankee bullpen, because yesterday they only had to use one reliever in Cruz, so that gives Boone a lot of options, a lot of buttons that he could push tonight. And on the other side with the Guardians, they don't have Class A, and as much as we talked about him struggling, that's still someone who is their own security blanket. Now, they have other pitchers they can go to late in games, and Gaddis and Smith and Herron. But when you don't have your closer, it's incumbent upon your manager to do some maneuvering.
We will take a break, and then after that, we'll get you out to Cleveland for Game 1 of this series. Again, Michael Kay, John Flaherty with the call, Meredith Marakovich reporting, and Jack and I look forward to seeing you on the post game. Have a great night and enjoy the ball game. Next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
I don't have to say anything. That's where we are, and it is a beautiful early Monday evening here in Cleveland, and it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Cleveland Guardians in Game 1 of a 3-game set from Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Guardians just took 3 straight against the Pirates, and the Yankees took 3 out of 4 against the Tampa Bay Rays. So let's take a look at the Home Depot pitching matchup, the getting it done pitching matchup. Gavin Williams, tall right-hander, is going to go for Cleveland, and for the Yankees, it's Clark Schmidt. And this is his second start of the year, first one off the IL. He pitched pretty well.
He really did, Michael. He maybe struggled a little bit in the first inning, but then found his rhythm. We have to remind ourselves, Clark Schmidt missed a lot of time in spring training with a cranky shoulder, but he is back, and he looked like Clark Schmidt against the Kansas City Royals, getting some soft contact, getting some help from his defense. We know the knuckle curve is a big weapon for Clark Schmidt. Maybe get him up to about 80, 85 pitches tonight.
Rotation started off a little shaky with a 5.40 ERA in the first 15 starts. That's last in baseball through April 13th. Since then, though, they're 5th with a 2.70 ERA, so things are looking up in that sense. Now, one thing that Clark Schmidt has to deal with is the leadoff batter for the Guardians. Stephen Kwan is probably the most underrated, terrific player in baseball.
Yeah, he was an all-star last year, but you're right, he kind of flies under the radar here in Cleveland. And as a leadoff guy, he creates havoc. He puts the ball in play. He has plenty of speed. He is a 3-time Gold Glover, the strong, accurate throwing arm. We know he can pick him up and put him down and cover some ground in the outfield. And if you make a mistake, he's got some pop from the left side. 4 home runs already, so a leadoff hitter in Cleveland who sets a tone for their entire lineup.
Well, let's see what the Guardians about the Mohegan Sun team scouting report. Kwan, 325, 27 hits, 14 runs, all top 10 in the American League. The starters have struggled a little bit, and Emmanuel Clase, considered one of the best closers in the game, not this year, not so far, pitching to a 7.84 ERA. Well, the Yankee defense has been unbelievable. They're writing a glove story. Glove is a many-splendored thing. Well, Meredith Marakovich talks to the Yankee manager, Aaron Boone, about the leather. next, right here on Yes.
It's a Progressive Field for Yankees on Yes. Game 1 of the 3-game series between the Yankees and the Guardians is coming your way in just a few minutes. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. One of the areas of focus for this Yankees team coming into the season was improving their team defense. And to start the year, they've been pretty on point. We saw some dazzling plays throughout the course of that Tampa Bay series. Earlier, I caught up with Aaron Boone to ask him about his impression of the defense to start the year.
I feel like we've been playing real clean and making a lot of impactful plays. Like you're seeing the range, you're seeing the athleticism, you're seeing, you know, some big time double plays being turned. So credit to these guys. They work really hard at it, and they're really good at playing their positions, and they've done it at a high level.
And speaking of that team defense, they're going to be without Trent Grisham this series. He's been placed on the paternity list. He has played a phenomenal center field for the Yankees. So with no Grisham, it is going to be Pablo Reyes getting the nod in right field. Aaron Judge will DH for the second consecutive game. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by John Flaherty. First pitch coming your way after the break.
By your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. By Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And by Hyundai, with a brand new Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. I mean, how many broadcasts give you a little taste of snuffy Sternweiss, huh?
Snuffy.
Before we even get a pitch thrown. Frankie Crissetti there. We're ready. We are ready. These two teams have been hooking up forever. First it was the Indians, now it's the Guardians, and the Guardians have taken the field here at Progressive Field to begin a 3-game series. Here's the Yankees starting lineup. Austin Wells leads off. He'll catch. Aaron Judge DHs for the second straight game. Cody Bellinger in center. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Jazz Chisholm Jr. at second. Anthony Volpe bats 6th, plays shortstop. Jason Dominguez in left. Pablo Reyes gets a start in right field. Oswaldo Cabrera at third base, the starting pitcher for the Yankees is Clark Schmidt. He's 1-1 in his career against the Guardians.
Well, that lineup for the New York Yankees going to face the 6'6" right-hander Gavin Williams. Those are the numbers on the year. 4 starts, 4.58 ERA. Let's check out our Nissan pitcher scouting report on Williams. He's a big-time power pitcher, throws close to 97 miles an hour. That's 4th in the American League. And last year, he had a big 12-6 Uncle Charlie curveball that opponents only hit 155 against. And he's has some Yankee history. He started last year during the regular season, and then we remember in Game 4 in the ALCS, he was the opener in that game, gave up 3 runs in 2 1/3 innings.
Let's check out the defense behind Gavin. You've got Quan, a 3-time Gold Glove winner in left. Angel Martinez in center, and Nolan Jones over right. He has a great arm. Infield, Ramirez, Rocchio, Arias, and Santana. He just won a Gold Glove. Bo Naylor behind the plate. Kyle Manzardo, the DH, and Gavin Williams is on the mound. Yankees come in at 14-8, and the Guardians are 12-9. Austin Wells is ready. Gavin Williams is ready. And let's do it here in Cleveland. Swing and a miss. We're underway. Nick Marley, the home plate umpire. Vic Carapaz at first. Mark Rippinger is at second. And Chad Fairchild is over at third. Did you know that Rippinger, John, last week had a perfect game behind the plate? Didn't miss one call.
I did see that. I didn't realize it was him. It's quite an accomplishment.
He's considered one of the top umpires in all of the game. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not.
Well, there's that curveball that I was talking about from last year. And Gavin Williams dials it up to about 98 miles an hour and tries to get you to swing at that curveball down in the zone. He's also developed a sweeper this year to go along with those 2 pitches.
Foul back.
Well, thinking back to yesterday's game, Austin Wells finished off his afternoon with an opposite field home run against the left-handed pitcher Clevenger in Tampa. Always felt like left on left to see a hitter go the other way and drive the baseball. Maybe some good signs for him.
Now, the last time the Yankees were on this field, they had clinched their 41st American League pennant. And that sent them to the World Series. Big celebration after that. Ground ball. Rocchio cannot handle it, allowing Wells to reach.
Well, you see Rocchio going to his left, right on the cutout of the dirt to the grass. Can't come up with it clean. Yankees have some action in the first.
So here's Judge. Had a much disputed long foul ball down the left field line at Steinbrenner Field. Arguing it, got Aaron Boone thrown out. And Aaron also came up with a pretty good solution. He said, I've always felt the guy who should call home runs down the line is the home plate ump. He said the first base umpire and the third base umpire, they have to turn and find the ball in the air. He said the home plate umpire is just like the batter. A batter knows if it's a fair ball or not.
You know who else knows? The catcher who's standing behind the plate. And I'm just thinking about all of my experience looking down the lines. You always had a great view if it was going to hook, fair, or foul.
1-2. Now, they have not scored that either an E6 or a hit, so that's why I'm waiting. And now they just said E6, okay. So an error on Rocchio, allowing Wells to reach. Just missed outside, 99 miles an hour, and Williams turned his back on home plate umpire Nick Marley.
Well, he averages about 96 to 97, but obviously feeling good early in the first because the velocity is up a tick.
3-2 on Judge. Yankees lead Major League Baseball with 38 home runs. Judge has 7. And the 3-2. Judge works a walk. Hi, John. It's time for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, I just mentioned it with Austin Wells back in the leadoff spot, hit that opposite field home run against a lefty yesterday. Maybe some good signs for him. And a rested bullpen for the Yankees now after what Max Fried did yesterday. Their bullpen is reset. And Kyle Manzardo for the Guardians, he's been a power threat. 6 home runs, 16 RBIs for them.
And Bellinger fouls it off. Bellinger has always liked hitting here in Cleveland. In 12 games, 16 for 48, 995 OPS, 4 home runs and 8 runs batted in. Had a home run in yesterday's game. Fouled away. Let's see what Nick Marley, the home plate umpire, is all about. Pitcher friendly. He calls more outside strikes on righties, more inside strikes on lefties. Nick and his 9th big league season. Wells is very frisky at second base. He's dancing off there, and Rocchio tried to sneak in behind him.
Nice play by Naylor here, getting that chest protector in front of it, keeping it in the general area. You see Austin Wells gets a good secondary.
Ground ball. Ramirez, there's one. On to first. It's a double play. A 5-6-3 double play as Rocchio took the throw at second. Moving to third is Wells.
Well, for years when you come to Cleveland, you expect the Guardians and the Indians back in the day to play solid defense. That's as good as it gets right there. Ramirez to the shortstop Rocchio, and a nifty turn at second base to get Bellinger by half a step.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt stole a base yesterday. 170th stolen base in his career. I mentioned that because that's the 6th most by a first baseman since 1920. The one who has the most, Rod Carew, at 353. Now, he went from second to first as his career advanced. But usually first basemen are not fleet of foot. But 170 stolen bases for Goldschmidt. Wells leads off third. And a strike. 1-2.
Well, if we've learned anything from watching Paul Goldschmidt hit all year long first month, if there's a fastball coming, he's going to block it off to right field, try to pick up a base hit. Anything off speed, that's the pitch he'll pull if it's middle.
2-2.
The great RBI guys, and Goldschmidt is one of those. They know how to hit with 2 strikes. They don't panic. They just try to let the ball travel, put it in play, take a base hit, and pick up a 2-out RBI.
And the count is full. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. A beautiful night, 68 degrees. Very slight chance of rain. Humidity 49%. The wind out of the west at 12 miles per hour.
I thought that wind number would be a little elevated. It was windy today. Wind blowing out to right center.
And the flags are kind of flapping.
Yeah.
But you know that Yes has a team of meteorologists, so we don't get that wrong.
Well, I can tell you when I was on the Knuckleball Express landing at 10:30 this morning in Cleveland, it was windy, and it was more than 12 miles an hour.
The 3-2. And Goldschmidt works a walk. So they're making Williams throw pitches here in the first inning. And that's going to bring up Jazz Chisholm Jr. He's in a little bit of a slump. 1 for his last 15, 4 for his last 45.
Well, we know Jazz is an aggressive hitter. He'll be hunting a first pitch fastball, trying to swing his way out of his struggles.
And a strike. Good fastball on Williams. And he also has a 7-foot landing spot, so it comes out even faster than 99 miles an hour.
And it's a big man too. 6 foot 6 inches coming down the hill.
Ooh. 100 miles an hour. 0-2.
Well, we've seen him get ahead, and then he goes to his off speed, his curve or his sweeper. Missing the strike zone. We'll see what he does here. 0-2. Maybe he stays with the heater.
Strike 3. He looked at 3 straight fastballs to end the inning, and the Yankees strand 2. Well, the Yankees stranding's turn against Clark Schmidt. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Kwan, Jones, and Ramirez. That's the top of the order. Middle third, Manzardo, Santana, and Arias. And the bottom third, Martinez, Naylor, and Rocchio. Saw Gavin Williams getting the start with an 0-1 record in his career against the Yanks.
Well, Clark Schmidt right in the middle of his warm-up tosses. The numbers from last year, outstanding, the 2.85 ERA. Let's take a look at our Nissan pitcher scanner report on Schmidt. That first outing that he had, that's a good one to build on. He threw 73 pitches in that outing, 5 2/3, so looking to build on that tonight. Cutter might be a big pitch for him. There are going to be 8 lefties in this Guardian lineup. The cut fastball might be a weapon, and he must like room service on the road because his numbers last year, 1.39 ERA on the road. First in the American League last year.
And a tough customer to start things off, Stephen Kwan. Guardians just came off a 6-game road trip. He was 8 for 24 on the trip. Off to a great start. 1-0. Last 10 games hitting .349 with 3 home runs. And a strike, 1-1.
As one of these leadoff guys that as a pitcher and a catcher can just make your night miserable by fouling off tough pitches, working his way on base. He has speed, he has power.
We mentioned the Guardians just swept 3 in Pittsburgh. They got off to a rough start, though, for the season. 3-6. They're 9-3 since then. And how about this for a journey to start the season? They opened with 3 in Kansas City, then went to San Diego for 3, then went to Anaheim for 3 before they even headed home. And they're still doing renovations on this ballpark. That's why they started with a 9-game road trip. Let's look at the Yankees defensively. Dominguez, Bellinger, and Reyes. Grisham is on paternity leave. Infield, Cabrera, Volpe, Chisholm, and Goldschmidt. Wells behind the plate. Judge the DH, Schmidt on the mound. And Kwan works a walk. He has 2 stolen bases on the season. Here's Nolan Jones. He was traded from Colorado on March 22nd for Tyler Freeman, and he has been splitting time in right field with Jhonkensy Noel to start the year. And a strike. And he fouls one, I think off his foot, maybe his shin. Going to try to walk it off.
I mentioned in that scatter report the cut fastball could be a big weapon tonight with all these lefties. It was a cutter, fouled it off his leg. Quickly jump ahead in the count. You know, Michael, I think back to last year. I did the Guardian series in the month of April, and I remember everybody around Cleveland saying, we haven't really played anybody. We don't know if we're any good. Well, turned out to be a really good team, taking their club all the way to the ALCS last year. Stephen Vogt, manager of the year in the American League.
Strike 3. Jones down looking.
Well, the cutter on the inner half fouled off his leg, and then you dot a fastball on the outside corner, and a nice catch by Austin Wells brings it back to the strike zone.
And here is Jose Ramirez, 13th big league season, all in Cleveland. He's 32 years old. He's a dead pull hitter with great power from both sides of the plate. And the numbers are remarkably similar, John. Most switch hitters have a favorite side. He doesn't seem like he does.
Pretty much split right down the middle. True switch hitter.
High fly ball, right field. Reyes toward the line will put it away for out number 2.
Well, anything that goes up in the air to right field, right center field, you hold your breath because that wind is gusting out. Ramirez obviously got jammed, an easy play for Reyes and right.
That'll bring up Kyle Manzardo, and Reyes is used to having a lot of gloves in his locker. He's played everywhere but catcher in his career. Manzardo had a home run off of Schmidt in Game 3 of last year's ALCS. Low average, but good power from Manzardo. One and one.
Well, this Guardians team is very, very familiar from last year's club in that they're going to catch the ball. They're going to scrap runs across, not a whole lot of pop in the middle of the lineup. Josh Naylor now with the Diamondbacks. They're looking to Manzardo to give them some power in the middle.
Yeah, if you look at the offensive numbers, they're kind of middle of the pack.
Yep.
4.1 runs per game, that's 21st, but 15th in average, 16th in on-base percentage, 11th in slugging, and 10th in home runs. Three and one.
Last year's club, their bullpen was one of the best in baseball, and this year they're a little slow getting out of the gate. Clase, their closer, is having a tough time.
And a walk to Manzardo. So 2 walks by Schmidt here in the first inning, and that brings up Santana. .39 years old, signed a 1-year, $12 million deal in December for his 3rd stint in Cleveland. His agent could not believe when the Guardians called, said they were interested because Santana had just signed papers to sell his house in the Cleveland suburbs that day. Pickoff play as Kwan gets back. And how about this? At the age of 38, John, he won his first Gold Glove. 16 outs above average, which led Major League first baseman.
Was he able to get out of that transaction with the house? No.
Nope. And he had held on to the house for a long time. The last time he played in Cleveland was 2021. He rented out the house every year to somebody. There were some rumors going around during the offseason the Yankees were interested in Santana. They decided to go with Goldschmidt, and that certainly has seemed like a wise move to this point.
You know what it tells you, too, that if an organization wants you back for the 3rd time, not only are you productive on the field, you're productive in that clubhouse. Good influence on some of the younger players. It's been a pretty good addition right there.
And he fits both of those categories. High pop-up. Here comes Goldschmidt. And foul territory makes the play for the final out. So the Guardians strand 2. We go to the 2nd. Well, let's check out FanDuel's live same-game parlay. Will Clark Schmidt ring up 5 or more strikeouts? He has 1. So they are renovating this ballpark, which is a beautiful ballpark, and the number we got, 202.5 million, which is quite specific. That one is tapped to Arias, and he will get Volpe So I found out something today, John. So the Yankees clinched the American League pennant here. And they started the renovations the next day. And they got word to the Yankees. Do whatever you want to the clubhouse.
Tear it up.
Demolish it if you want. Forget about just champagne. Knock down walls. I don't know if they followed the orders, but they were given carte blanche to knock down walls.
So obviously they're renovating the clubhouse.
Yep.
And then the upper deck in right field. Is that what I got to?
And they've changed the color of the seats from green to blue, so they've replaced that. There's still green in the upper deck. The renovation is not complete yet.
Hey, Michael, I was in that clubhouse last year when the Yankees clinched the ALCS, and it was a wild scene. A lot of celebrating, a lot of champagne flying. I believe TVs were coming off the walls. They had themselves a good time in that clubhouse. Hey, and rightfully so, first trip to the World Series since 2009. Now, the renovations in the clubhouse, it looks totally different in there, but I will have you know the Golden Tee machine survived. It's in a different room.
Thank goodness.
I don't know about Big Buck Hunter. That was a big attraction in that clubhouse as well. Guys always playing that after the game.
Here's the celebration that Meredith was talking about. She's right in the middle of it, too.
I left completely drenched, Michael.
Oh, it was a happy clubhouse for sure. There's Pablo Reyes. Imagine if your parents told you, yeah, you could mess your room up. We're starting renovations tomorrow.
Tell Charlie and Callie that.
Yeah, we're not starting renovations tomorrow. 0-2. You know, it's interesting, you know, the Guardians did a lot of analysis on what people want. So they eliminated a lot of seats and put a lot of social areas. And they said people want to watch games with people they don't know, not just the people they came with. The 0-2. In right field, there used to be seats up there, and then they put walls up there, and now it's just a gathering place.
Like an open area up top, right?
Yep.
Where you can just walk around.
Yep.
You want to take a selfie. And
Selfies are big for young fans.
do what you got to do.
Swing and a miss. Reyes down on strikes as the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. Strike Pride brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Tonight's picture is of the Burdick family. Traveled all the way from upstate New York to see the Yankees at Steinbrenner Field over the weekend. There are a lot of Yankee fans down there. I'm glad the Burdicks had a good time. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game.
Well, you got to give me your evaluation, Steinbrenner Field, as the Rays' home field.
You know what? It was great, obviously. You know, not that people care. I was talking to the Rays broadcasters. There's no background in day games, so it's hard to see the ball. But that's not a problem for fans. They seemed like they had a blast, and the Yankees thought the accommodations on the visiting side were outstanding.
Okay, good.
Everything was there that they needed, and obviously the Rays are thrilled because they're dealing with a big league ballpark, or at least a big league clubhouse. Two 2-0 on Arias. That one clips the outside corner. 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Well, Clark Schmidt, his first start of the year, I thought the first inning he really kind of was a little sluggish, trying to find a rhythm, and then once he got through that first inning, he started cruising. See if it's the same script tonight where he had some traffic in the first. See if he can get going here in the second.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Second strikeout for Schmidt. One out in the second.
Well, you keep throwing it in the same spot if a hitter like Arias is going to keep expanding out of the strike zone. Perfect location off the plate with 2 strikes.
Here is Angel Martinez off to a good start. Getting some starts in center field, which he's doing today. Lane Thomas is struggling. He is the son of Sandy Martinez, caught 8 major league seasons from 95 to 2004, mostly with Toronto. One and one. And we mentioned the Yankees beat the Guardians in the ALCS. The Yankees and Cleveland have met in the postseason 7 times. The only other team the Yankees have hooked up with more in the postseason is the Dodgers. Obviously, all of those in the World Series. But in the 7 times they've met Cleveland, the Yankees have won 5 of them. The 2 times Cleveland won 1997 in the ALDS and 2007 in the ALDS. Fouled away.
Well, as we just had a shot of manager Stephen Vogt in the dugout for Cleveland, I'm sure he's not disappointed that the big man, Giancarlo Stanton, is not activated. Stanton put on a show during that ALCS.
Won the MVP of that series. Right back to Schmidt. 2 away.
Oh, a bunch of off-speed pitches, cutters, sweepers, and then you cut one in right on the hands. A nice easy line drive right back to Clark Schmidt. 2 quick outs.
Bo Naylor fouls off the first pitch. Must be a little weird. His brother Josh traded to Arizona during the offseason. They were teammates for 3 seasons. And they've been brothers for longer.
Longer than that. The Guardians are going to miss the power of Josh Naylor in the middle of the lineup. They're kind of expecting Bo, his younger brother, to develop a little bit more in the power department. Good receiver behind the plate.
He is favorably compared to Austin Wells in terms of pitch framing. They are considered 2 of the best in the league at that. Not great at throwing out runners, though. He did work with the Guardians the hitting coaches and analysts this offseason, focused on keeping his posture during his swing and firmly planting his back foot when starting his load. Former first-round draft pick. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Schmidt in 2 innings. 0-0 as we head to the 3rd. Well, suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear. There's our famous bat boy, visiting bat boy here in Cleveland. His name is Nate Rosenhaus. And now he's added a beard because of the Yankees rule now that you can have beards.
He can let it go now. He's a rock and roll star, right?
Yes, he is. And his dad is one of the radio play-by-play voices here in Cleveland, Jim Rosenhaus. And he joked before the game, he said to Nate, the beard might be pushing it. But the Yankee players really like him a lot, and they get along with him.
Yeah, it's funny. You know that you're going to see Nate when you come to Cleveland. You go to Fenway Park, and there's an older bat boy or ball boy that's been there since I was playing for the Red Sox back in the day.
Nate's band's name is Open Doors, and when we mentioned him last year or a year before that, they kind of got some gigs in New York City because of that. Grounded, right side. Arias gets Cabrera for the first out. So one down. That brings up Austin Wells. He reached on an E6 in the first.
Let's see what happens here. Second time through the lineup with Gavin Williams. He's overpowered the Yankees with the fastball. Missed a lot with the off-speed pitches. See if Wells is going to be taking care of a heater here. At least looking for the timing of it.
He lives about 40 minutes apart from his pitching coach, Carl Willis, in the offseason in North Carolina, and they meet for bullpen sessions. Former first-round draft pick out of East Carolina University. How about this, John? He pulled a Johnny Vandermeer in high school, pitched back-to-back no-hitters for Cape Fear High School.
Imagine facing this guy in high school, 6'6", coming down the hill.
Nice pick there on the short hop by Ramirez to get Wells. Take a look at his arsenal on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Well, I've already talked about that four-seam fastball that he pumps up in the upper 90s. He developed a sweeper this year. The curveball was the big off-speed pitch last year, and very occasionally will mix in a changeup.
Here's Aaron Judge. 1-0. In the regular season against Cleveland last year, and you see the average fastball velocity, who he's behind. The Yankees have faced two of those guys already, Skubal and Boz. And it's Jack Leiter's 25th birthday today. But last year in the regular season, Judge 9 for 24, 483 on base percentage, 5 home runs and 10 ribbies against Cleveland.
Well, you start dreaming on this matchup here with 98 up in the zone. If Aaron Judge finds a way to just get that bat on the barrel, that ball's going to go a long way with the breeze going out to right center field.
Now, Aaron Judge struggled a bit in the ALCS against Cleveland, 3 for 18, but he had that massive home run against Emmanuel Clase. Drops a curveball in for a strike, 2-2.
Well, if you can drop that curveball for a strike on a fastball count, it just evens everything up. Williams, he can go high fastball. He can try to bounce a curveball. Aaron Judge, his last at bat, he walked, and it looked like Williams just wanted to stay off speed. We'll see if he changes up the game plan here, 2-2.
Allen is driven to left center field. On the run is Quan. He's not going to get there. He'll play it off the wall. Judge going for 2. He's going to make it with a double.
Boy, Aaron Judge just makes it look easy. This is not easy to do, to get on top of a fastball at about 98. And if you think back to the pitch he saw before, was a 2-1 curveball for a strike. So you got to be respecting the off speed, but he gets velocity up in the zone and no problem just splits the gap in left center field. This makes it look so easy.
He's pretty good. Here's Cody Bellinger. Before that double, Williams had retired 6 straight Yankees. Yankees walked twice and reached on an E6 in the first, couldn't get a run across. Bellinger hit into a double play in the first inning. One and one. Big cut, 1-2. Good curve.
Well, You watch the stuff from Williams, you see some of the uncomfortable swings from Bellinger, and just this guy stays healthy. There's a bright future here in Cleveland.
You know, Cleveland kind of surprised people today. They designated Tristan McKenzie for assignment. So if they can't make a trade, he's going to be free to go anywhere he wants. But he was just all over the place. They say he'd spike a ball, throw a ball to the backstop, then paint the corners. They just couldn't straighten him out.
I mean, a great young pitcher, and then went through some injuries and just has not been the same since.
High fly ball. Shallow left center. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Martinez for the final out. So Judge's double is wasted. And brought by Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. By your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. What a great night in Cleveland. Great night for a ball game. And everybody in town is happy. The Cavaliers beat the Heat in the first game of their playoff series. Game 2 will be Wednesday. And the Yankees and the Guardians have a 1 o'clock start on Wednesday. So you can do a doubleheader. Because the Cavs play right across the road here. There's Rocchio. There's a strike. So, John, the hotel that we're in, the Heat are also there.
Yes.
And I think there's a Heat player next to my room. And so when I'm on the road, I do my radio show in the hotel room. And NBA players are notorious nappers. They nap like in the middle of the day. And I thought somebody was going to kick down my door, like Bam Adebayo, say stop. Fly ball left field. Dominguez on the run. He's going to play it on a hop. A base hit for Rocchio.
Well, the left-handed hitting Rocchio, when he loops this ball into left field, it's going to slice away. Slice from right to left, away from Jason Dominguez. Looked like he took a step or two back. And wasn't able to make up the ground coming in.
Here's Quan. Rocchio at first. And a strike. Skied the other way. And out of play. Now, John, you know our producer, Troy Benjamin. The best. His mom, Naomi Carr, having dinner with friends and family in Harlem, watching the game.
Outstanding.
Celebrating her 75th birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Naomi Carr. We're keeping an eye out for Troy. Don't worry. 1-2. She's very proud of Troy.
There's a lot to be proud of.
Terrific guy. Great producer. 2-2.
Just thinking how nice it is to celebrate your 75th birthday. Beautiful dinner, watching the Yankee game. We going to make it to 75?
I'm rooting, but I don't know.
Was that next year for you?
Feels like it. Feels like it. Into right center field, the long run. No one's going to get there. Bellinger will cut it off, fires in. Moving to third is Rocchio on a single for Quan. First and third, nobody out.
Boy, this is what Stephen Kwan does for the Guardians. I mean, he does battles, he gets deep into counts, and he just gets fisted and puts it in the perfect spot in right center field. Bellinger's not going to be able to make the play. Reyes and right, it just falls in no man's land. And Rocchio is going to get to third base easily, and this is what the Guardians do. They don't have a whole lot of pop, but they just kind of put the ball in play, run the bases well. They're all set up here in the third.
So that's going to bring up Nolan Jones, who struck out looking in the first inning. Yankees play the infield back at short and second to go for the double play. Oh and 1.
Well, the one thing Nolan Jones has shown Clark Schmidt, he's up there swinging the bat. You don't have to throw him a strike. Pitch off the corners, in and down and away. Take your chances.
One and 1. So the Guardians had 2 runners on in the first. They got Santana to ground out. Now 2 runners on the corners, but nobody out. One and 2. This would be a big strikeout, because then you could dream about getting out of it without allowing a run.
Dangerous Ramirez waiting on deck, but if you're headed Jones here, 1 and 2 again, don't have to throw him a strike. Cut the ball in on his hands, sinkers down and away.
Big strikeout for Schmidt. Jones goes down swinging, 1 away.
The put away pitch is a knuckle curve. It's middle of the plate. It's down. And you're right, Michael. Now, if you're Clark Schmidt, you start daydreaming. All right, I make a pitch here, I'm out of a big-time jam.
Tough guy to make a pitch against. And let's look at the leaders brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. It's where he ranks in Cleveland franchise history, second in home runs to Jim Thome. He's in the top 5 in everything. Oh and 1.
What makes Ramirez so dangerous is that you can try to pitch around him in certain spots, but he's a great bad ball hitter. What do I mean by that? You throw one down at his shoes, he'll be able to clear it in the right field corner. He's just such a dangerous hitter. A lot of plate coverage.
High drive into right field. Reyes turns, looks, see ya. A 3-run home run for Ramirez. And the Guardians up by 3.
He's been doing it a long time here in Cleveland, Jose Ramirez. We'll take a look at the pitch. It's off the plate, down and in, an awkward swing. With a little breeze going out to right field. The only question mark, did he hook it? Nope. Kept it straight. 3-run jack.
Manzardo hits a high fly ball right field. Reyes back on the track at the wall. Gone. 4-0 Guardians.
Manzardo has definitely given the Guardians a little bit of punch in the middle of their lineup. 7 home runs on the year. That one had a little bit of help with that breeze going out to right field. Back-to-back 4-0 Guardians.
Here is Santana. And a strike.
Another look from the side on the swing, and again a little awkward finish. Seats by plenty. And then Manzardo coming up after him. First pitch ambush. Look for a heater, and he got it. The only question, did it have enough? Well, you can see the wind just helping it just enough.
Swing and a miss. Santana down on strikes, 2 away. 0-1 on Arias. So Schmidt, some third inning trouble, and just like that, Cleveland leads 4-0. One and one.
Well, the lone right-handed hitter Arias in this lineup against Clark Schmidt. Schmidt exposed that weakness with some cutters, sweepers down and away.
One and two. Did he go? Yes, he did. So Arias strikes out. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Schmidt, but 4 runs for the Guardians. Well, tonight on Yes Sports Business, for an exclusive interview with MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred. Catch the new episode presented by Genius Sports immediately following the postgame on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Here is Paul Goldschmidt. Tri-State Cadillac scoreboard. Cleveland leads 4-0. Goldschmidt walked in the first inning. And that is caught on a short hop by Rocchio, but no play, so it'll be a base hit for Goldschmidt.
Oh, nice effort by Rocchio. The soft line drive comes up with the short hop, but can't come up clean with the transfer. Would have been an interesting play to see if he would have had enough on the throw to get Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt just keeps getting on base. Here's Jazz. So Mike Lupica wrote a column on MLB.com, and he spoke to the Cardinals' longtime GM John Mozeliak about Goldschmidt. And it was interesting what Mozeliak said. Hit sharply, and a diving stop by Santana, and he touches first base for a double play. Hard luck for Chisholm, but the Gold Glover got him.
Yeah, Jazz can't believe it. Hit this ball right on the button. And he's going to have absolutely nothing to show for it as Santana lays out to his right. Nothing Goldschmidt can do.
Quick reaction to the backhand side. Here is Volpe. Anyway, Mozeliak said Goldschmidt perhaps was an even better person than a player. Great husband and a father, generous with his time, dollars to help people. Great guy to have a drink with, as there are no topics he won't discuss, even if baseball is his favorite. So Jazz has been struggling so much. This is his reaction. He is really struggling. 1 for his last 17, and you can't hit him any better than that right there. Chop to third. Ramirez gets Volpe, and that'll do it. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-0 Cleveland. Well, tomorrow on Yes, game set right here at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Coverage starts early at 5 with Audi batting practice in the pregame, with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 6 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. It'll be Will Warren against Tanner Beebe. Tanner Bybee.
Tanner Bybee tomorrow.
Bybee, yes. You know, I'm 0 for 2 on pronunciations.
What's the other one?
The GM of the Cardinals, John Mozeliak. I think I said Mozeliak. You want to take over?
You're very hard on yourself.
Well, you know what? You have to get it right. And we're sitting right across a window here from Tom Hamilton. He's going to the Hall of Fame this year. That one is ripped past the diving Goldschmidt. Played out there by Reyes. And Martinez with a leadoff double.
Well, a young hitter, Martinez. The Yankees have not seen a whole lot of him, but any left-hander, usually they like the ball down. They like the ball down and in. Martinez rifles this just past a diving Paul Goldschmidt. Great play by the ball person, getting out of the way, grabbing the stool, jumping up on the ledge. Outstanding athletic ability there. Wow, beards are big in Cleveland.
And long hair. I'm moving here. Here's Bo Naylor. Rip foul.
Well, let's get back to Tom Hamilton, the future Hall of Famer.
So happy for him. He's one of the nicest people in baseball.
We actually said when he comes in here to talk to you, you feel bad about yourself because he's the nicest man in the world.
He really is.
And we're not.
We are not even close. I know he's a little nervous about a speech that he has to give at the induction, but he'll be fine.
He'll nail that. There he is.
There he is.
Congratulations, Tom.
What a good guy.
Yep.
He takes the middle innings off. That's why he doesn't have the headset on.
Wait, that's an option?
Well, if you're a Hall of Famer, not an option for us. When I did radio with John Sterling, like the innings I was doing play-by-play, he would wander. And the guy who takes over is Nate's dad, Jim Rosenhaus. Nate's going to listen to him right now. Yeah, John would just wander.
Well, when you guys used to switch on and off, I mean, did you feel like, okay, I got 3 innings off now when I'm not doing play-by-play, or you were still engaged as the analyst?
I was still engaged because I did 6 innings as the analyst and 3 innings as the play-by-play. But John felt it was a good time to go socialize. Yeah. Grounded foul. He didn't do that all the time, though.
Have you talked to John Sterling?
Yes, several times. How's he doing? He's doing great. He's doing great.
Enjoying retirement?
He seems like he is. He watches all the games, doesn't listen, turns the sound off, which is
smart.
Kind of a kick in the pants, but chop toward third, backhanded by Cabrera. The long throw got him. Heading to third now is Martinez, and he'll make it.
Kind of a different play here with Naylor. The excuse me swing. Ground ball to Cabrera, who's had some throwing issues lately, but he comes up with this one clean. It's Goldschmidt right in the chest. Good throw. And good base running by Martinez here. Kind of reads it, then gets a good jump and advances to third.
So the Yankees bring the infield in. They're already down by 4. Here is Rocchio. Dunked a single left in the third inning. Martinez has speed at third, so the transfer is going to have to be quick on any ground ball. He'll be going on contact. And a base hit, a broken bat base hit past Chisholm as Martinez scores and Rocchio picks up a ribby. It's 5-0. John, it looked like Chisholm was concerned about getting hit with the bat.
Yeah, I don't know if he lost the baseball and then this bat shattered, but he had a play on the line drive. I think the shattered bat got him where he thought the bat maybe was coming in his direction. Strange.
So here's Kwan. He walked and singled. Also scored a run. Driven to right field. It's a base hit. That's going to get to the wall in a hurry. Rocchio heads to third. Kwan hustles to second. Gets himself a double. Second and third. One man out.
The Guardians adding on now. Aggressive up at the plate is Stephen Kwan. Middle in, hunting it, and got it. Did not miss it. Drills that ball to right field. Only question, Rocchio, did he have a chance to score on this? Reyes comes up with it in pretty good shape. That holds him to third.
So Matt Blake tries to settle down Clark Schmidt, giving up 7 hits, 1 out into the 4th inning. So here's Nolan Jones, who struck out twice against Schmidt. And on deck is Ramirez. Infield in. Up and away.
A little bit of stirring in the Yankee bullpen, but there's nobody getting loose out there off the mound. 73 pitches, the first outing for Clark Schmidt. We'd like to get that pitch count up a little bit in tonight's effort. And a dangerous pitch coming right here. Jose Ramirez waiting on deck. Already has his 3-run home run. Jones ahead in the count, 2-0.
A strike, 2-1. Good speed on the bases for the Guardians. Boy, he does not get cheated. 2-2.
Well, in a situation like this, too, with second and third, less than 2 outs, you're just trying to put the ball in play. Middle of the field, get the ball up in the air, but Jones has violent intentions trying to do a little bit more damage. Struck out already twice. We'll see if he shortens up here.
Three and 2. Want to come right at him because Ramirez on deck. Ryan Yarbrough warming for the Yanks. Yankees have used their bullpen a lot of late. And the 3-2. He walked him. And now you have to deal with Ramirez. Let's take a look at the bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money. A lot of usage on Saturday. They only had to use Cruz yesterday because Max Fried gave them 8. But look at all those blue squares. That's a bullpen that has been used a lot to pick up wins. You have to do it if the starters aren't giving you length. Rocchio, Kwan, Jones. 1 man out. Here's Ramirez. 3-run home run last time up. It could get away from you right here.
I would assume that Clark Schmidt and Austin Wells behind the plate would like to stay away from Ramirez. He's already shown he can pull that cutter on the inner half. Go soft, go down and away.
Popped up shallow left center. Bellinger makes the catch. He'll fire home. The runner at third. Rocchio stays put. Big out.
Big out, big pitch by Clark Schmidt.
And now they have to deal with Manzardo.
We'll take a look back to the third inning after the Ramirez home run. Manzardo, first pitch fastball, and he got it.
Bases loaded, infield is back with 2 outs. Rip foul. Lefties are getting a good look at him, John.
Yeah, it just looks like Manzardo, too, is just looking for anything middle in and trying to hook it to the right side of the field. There's the pitch count, 78 pitches. Again, he threw 73 his first outing. Like to get him up to 80, 85. Clearly the game and the balance right here with 2 outs in the fourth.
Dropped in a knuckle curve, so quickly 0-2. Strike 3. Manzardo down looking. Guardians get a run, but they leave the bases loaded. It's 5-0 as we head to the 5th. Bottom of the 4th inning, Aaron Boone talks with Clark Schmidt, probably telling him his day is done, I would think. 5-0 Guardians. Dominguez leads off the 5th. Pitch outside. 1-0. Dominguez struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Popped up. Ramirez on the run toward the stands and runs out of room.
Well, long way to go in this one. And one thing the Yankees have shown us early this year, they have the ability to come back and win some games. I think 6 come from behind wins this year. As Gomez getting his arm loose in the Yankee bullpen.
You mentioned that Trent Grisham, now with the team, left early this morning on paternity leave. Yankees called up Yorbi Vivas, an infielder. Walker can play some outfield as Dominguez swings and misses. Naylor drops it, then throws to first for the out. Time to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. 555 games, see the time with the Indians, then spent 2001 to 04 with the Yankees, finished with the Cubs. Pirates thrown in there as well.
I had to play with this guy.
Yeah.
In 04 and 03.
Don't put pressure on yourself. Todd Frazier was traded with a guy and didn't get him yesterday.
Traded with him.
Yeah, David Robertson. Reyes swings and misses. Williams has been impressive so far. That one is looped into center field. It's a base hit for Reyes.
Oh, nice job by Reyes, just staying in there on that curveball and digging it right out of the bottom of the strike zone, lining it right back up the middle.
Here's Cabrera, grounded to second in the 3rd. The Reyes single, the Yankees' 3rd hit. One and 0. 5-7-1 for Cleveland. 0-3-0 for the Yanks. First game of this 3-game set. Another base hit. Cutting over is Kwan. Big turn by Reyes. They throw behind him, and he just gets back. Heads up throw there by Kwan, but Reyes retraces his steps and gets back.
Well, a nice job by the bottom of the order here, trying to create some traffic. Cabrera just stays on that heater, drives it the other way. You're down by 5. You got to make sure you're running the bases smartly. Now you give it to the top of the lineup with a couple of runners on, trying to fight your way back into this one.
Here's Austin Wells. 1-0. Wells 0 for 2. He did reach to start the game on an E6 by Rocchio. Rocchio shades up the middle. And tries to sneak in behind Reyes. One and one. Good fastball. 6'6". We told you has 7 feet of extension, so the ball gets on you even quicker. Last year he had elbow inflammation, knocked him out for the first half. Didn't make his season debut until July 3rd. The 1-1. 2-1. On deck is Judge.
Now you're down by 5. Usually one swing of the bat is the way you get back in a ball game. Obviously Aaron Judge waiting on deck, but Austin Wells has been heating up lately and has some history with Williams.
Big cut and a good cutter.
Where'd that come from? I'm sure Austin Wells is stepping out of the batter's box saying, wait a second. I didn't remember a cutter in the scouting report.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Yankees have 2 on. They're down by 5 in the 5th. Let's see if they turn 2. There's one on to first. Got him. Turn quickly, 4-6-3 as Williams gets out of trouble. See if the Yankees challenge. And this is what they're watching to decide. They are not challenging. Inning-ending double play. We're halfway through.
Music. Well, it's time to for the 4th inning. Jazz Chisholm up at the plate. There's the veteran first baseman Carlos Santana. Quick reactions going to his right. Double play completed. Your good hands replay by Allstate. There's the veteran switch hitting first baseman for the Guardians. As the Yankees have a new pitcher in the game, Yoendris Gomez. Will be a 6-game 1-1 record, 2.57 ERA.
So Gomez took the loss in the Saturday defeat in Tampa, pitching the 10th inning. Gave up a home run to Aranda. Took too long, the batter, Santana, so it's 0-1 before he throws a pitch, and the pitch outside now 1-1. Strange that a veteran would have that happen to him. He's 0 for 2. Two and 1.
Santana going with the pants that are hiked up well above the knee. That's an interesting look.
Some batters think if you do that, you could change the strike zone a little bit.
Not as many low strikes called.
Yeah. I mean, those are almost cool-outs. That's above the knee. 2-2. 3-2. Clubbed to right center field. On the run is Bellinger and Reyes hauls it in on the warning track for the first out.
Oh, a nice catch and a nice jump for a guy who plays all around the diamond, making that look pretty easy. Midway on the warning track, knew exactly where he was. Good play. It's a nice opportunity for Gomez to get back out on the mound too, Michael, after that walk-off that you mentioned. Bullpen has been used a lot in the last week to 10 days. Nice to see a couple of innings out of him. Settle things down in this game.
He's already been bestowed a pretty good nickname by Boone. Yogo.
Yogo.
Yeah, Yogo.
He's not Gomi.
No, yeah, that's usually their go-to. Yeah. He's Yogo. One and one on Arias, who was struck out twice, both of those obviously against Schmidt. Soft ground ball, Volpe boots it. Bad hop, came up on him, couldn't handle it. And Arias will reach. Should be an E6.
We'll take a look, though. This is a bad hop right there. Just takes off. Like Volpe was in perfect position. Bad hop.
It is an E6. Here's Angel Martinez.
Oh.
And another clock violation. This one on the pitcher.
Dangerous, too, when a pitcher starts his motion and then holds up. But it looks like Gomez, no problem. Just took a little too much time delivering the pitch.
Hit into left center field. Sliding catch by Bellinger. Heading back to first is Arias. Bellinger is a plus defender wherever you put him.
Yeah, wherever you put him is right, Michael. I was thinking the same thing, whether it's left, center, right, first base, great jump, and then just slide smoothly right underneath it.
There's Bo Naylor. One and 0. Now, Bo is not his actual name. His given name is Noah. But Josh, his brother, couldn't pronounce it. Called him Bo, and it stuck.
Noah Naylor.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And he nails that one, the left center. Long run for Bellinger on the track, makes the play, and that'll do it. One error, one man left. We go to the sixth.
Everybody, Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Boston Red Sox taking on the White Sox, and in the bottom of the third, that's Christian Campbell. Opposite way, knocks in a pair. 2-run single for Campbell. Walker Buehler struck out 9 White Sox hitters as Boston won on Patriots Day 4-2. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bob. We go around the majors. Nick Kurtz, expected to be called up this week, has done very well in AAA. Luis Arraez, one of the most violent collisions you will see, with Mauricio Dubon at first base yesterday, put on the concussion IL, and Spencer Strider having a hard time staying healthy. And there's a strike to Judge. Did you see that collision?
I did see that. That was unbelievable. Terrible. Did not know about that Spencer Strider straining a hamstring. We got some issues going on in Atlanta.
Yep. Also a little internal strife because Jared Kelnick hit a ball that he thought was a home run and stood and admired it. And then when he saw it didn't go out, he tried to go for 2 and got thrown out. The manager, Brian Snitker, didn't take him out of the game. Now it's Judge down on strikes. And Ronald Acuna Jr., who's on the IL, said if it was me, and when I did it, I got taken out. That was, I think, in 2019. Then Snitker kind of made it worse. He said, different situation. Also, I didn't see Kelnick until after the game.
Wouldn't you think a coach would have mentioned something to him?
You would think.
If he didn't see it. That's the last thing you need, is a little in the clubhouse controversy. Team has gotten off to a slow start.
John, that would be my one rule. If a GM ever said, you know what, I want to give Kay a shot at managing. Listen, you could admire your home run. You could do cartwheels down first base. But if it doesn't go out and you get thrown out, you hurt the team, you're out of the game. You're out of the game.
I think that should be the first meeting that you have as a manager in spring training, Michael. You declare this is the deal, and it goes all the way around.
Line drive, it's a base hit for Bellinger. And it gets by Kwan. But Bellinger will stay put at first with the Yankees down by 5.
You know, I always felt Joe Torre, not that he was lucky to have players like Jeter, but they always played hard, right? They always ran the bases hard. So kind of set the tone as you see Bellinger lay out this line drive. Gets away from Kwan, but down by 5. You have to be 100% sure.
So here's Goldschmidt. Foul ball. Well, we see it happen all the time. People admire home runs that aren't home runs. And then, you know, the rebuttal would be, well, you're going to take out a player that's important to you. You might lose the game because of that. Yeah, but you might win games down the line.
Yeah, you send a message that it's 26 guys on a club and everybody's expected to go about the business the same way. Never forget Joe Torre when Alex Rodriguez was a New York Yankee, and there was something like he didn't run out a ground ball or didn't bust it down the line, but he ended up being safe on first base and ended up scoring. And as he came into the dugout, Joe Torre very stealthily gave him like a fist pump, you know, congratulations on scoring.
Right.
And just looked right at him and said, don't ever let me see that happen again. But the way he did it, nobody, if you're watching on TV, you wouldn't have any idea.
Wow.
If you were a fan, you wouldn't have any idea. And he got his message across to a star player in a way that he didn't have to embarrass him. Just said, don't ever let me see that happen again. And Alex kind of acknowledged and walked away, and it never happened again.
Swing and a miss. Goldschmidt down on strikes. Well, Paul O'Neill has told the story that he didn't run out of ball at Fenway Park. Torre didn't say anything, but the next day he wasn't in the lineup for a game against the Red Sox. And Paul came in and said, why am I not in the lineup? He said, well, I thought you were injured. You didn't run the first base yesterday. And Paul begged his way back in, and Joe Torre said, I don't want to ever see you do that again.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought you were hurt.
Yeah. Joe had a way.
He was a great communicator.
The 1-0. 2-0. Strike.
And this is a clinic that Gavin Williams is putting on out on the mound. I mean, he's a guy who throws 98 miles an hour. He has a 5-0 lead. And he just dropped a 2-0 backdoor curveball to Jazz to get back in the count.
2-2. Jazz hit the ball very hard last time up. Line to first and into an unassisted double play. Doubling Goldschmidt at first. So Jazz is 0 for 2. 1 for 17 on this road trip.
I'm sure Jazz getting in the box here saying, all right, what's coming now? I saw a 2-0 curveball for a strike, a 2-1 curveball for a swing and miss strike. I know he throws 98. Not an easy situation to be in.
Swing and a miss. Got the fastball. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Gavin Williams. We go to the bottom of the scoreboard. Cleveland 5, Yankees nothing. We have an official scorer making a change. Arias' ground ball that was initially scored in E6 on Volpe has now been changed to a hit. So we're getting used to this.
Yeah, a lot of that going around.
1-0 on Rocchio. Yoendrys Gomez in his second inning of work in relief of Clark Schmidt. Clark struggled tonight. 2-0. Max Fried did not struggle yesterday. 5 starts for the Yankees. Yankees 5-0. He's 4-0.
I couldn't have been more impressed listening to Max Fried dealing with Meredith and the media after the game and the way he handled that whole situation yesterday. Seems just to be a team first guy. Whatever we need to do to win games. Possible no-hitter, no big deal. Didn't bother him at all.
There's a strike. Now the funny part about that, he took the mound for the bottom of the 8th inning. There was no announcement. They shot a 1 in the hit column in left center field, which was not very large. He didn't know. So when he gave up the hit, he thought he had lost a no-hitter, but he already had.
Yeah, I was working in the studio yesterday with Bob, and we were both saying, I wonder if the manager knew. I wonder if Austin Wells knew. Max Fried, nobody knew.
I think the crowd was kind of in the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, except for those that looked up at the board.
I mean, did you know it yesterday when it happened? Or
yeah, they announced it in the press box.
Okay. Again, another look at the play. But I think everybody agreed right off the bat this should have been an infield hit. But it took a couple of innings to get changed. The timing was interesting.
It's a really thankless job. You're being pulled from both ends. Both teams want calls their way. And really the only thing that you take issue with it is that it took about 2 innings to do it. Ground ball, Volpe. There's 1. On to first, not in time.
Well, Quan runs too well, but also the throw from Volpe to Jazz Chisholm at second was off the mark just a little bit. It would have had to have been perfect execution all the way around. You see the throw behind Jazz. Makes up for it just a little late. Quan, he can get down the line.
Here's Jones. 1-0. Jones 0 for 2 with a walk. Struck out twice. One and one. Two and one. 5-0 Cleveland. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Looped into left center. Bellinger makes the play. It's time for the Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle in your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Bottom of the 3rd inning. There's Jose Ramirez. He's done that plenty of times here in Cleveland. Then Manzardo right behind him. First pitch ambush. 4 on the board quickly.
His 5th home run of the year, Ramirez. You know, looking at his stats, John, since 2017, it's either Ramirez or Judge for the major league lead in all the major offensive categories. He has 570 extra base hits, number 1. 736 RBIs, number 1. I'm updating him. First in stolen bases, 240 home runs, now 241, second to Judge. 742 runs, second to Judge. Runner goes, the throw to second is not in time, stolen base for Kwan. And Judge has a big lead in WAR. Judge comes into this game with a 54.6 wins above replacement, and Ramirez 44.6. He's just a great player. Doesn't fit the profile of a power hitter or a speed guy, but he is. Rip foul.
Gomez came right at him with a heater on a 3-0 count, and now first base is open because Kwan stole second. Probably don't want to throw that pitch again.
That one is ripped to right field. It's a base hit in front of Reyes. Kwan rounding third, coming home. Here's the throw. He's safe. As Ramirez goes to second. Wells immediately pointed to the dugout. He thinks that he got Kwan on the tag.
Take a look. He goes to the backhand swipe. We'll see if Kwan gets this. They got his hand in there. An outstanding slide. I want to understand Gomez is coming back-to-back fastballs. A 3-0 count, a 3-1 count. I mean, he just sang all the praises of Ramirez and what he's done. Good throw from Reyes, just up the line, a hair.
Here's Manzardo. A 4 RBI night for Ramirez. Bang, bang. So 6-0 Cleveland. On the throw home, Ramirez took second. Breaking ball for a strike on the back door. Skied the other way. Long run for Dominguez, but it lands foul. Guardians have 9 hits. Yankees have 5. Tell you what, Gavin Williams has been impressive. One, two. Two and two. Manzardo is 1 for 2 with a walk. 7th home run of the year in the 3rd. He and Ramirez went back-to-back. And the pitch. 3 and 2. Schmidt started for the Yankees, lasted just 4. 2nd inning of work for Gomez. Ramirez leads off 2nd. And here's the payoff. Right back to Gomez. And that'll do it. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the 7th. The Yankees come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 25th, when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. First 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees hockey jersey, courtesy of DKNY. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. Ford scoreboard, 6-0. Guardians over the Yankees. Anthony Volpe leads off against Gavin Williams. Anthony 0 for 2. Cooking up something special with HexClad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. Good numbers for Anthony against the Guardians in 18 games. And those numbers get better with a base hit up the middle.
Well, we know that the fastball has been a problem for Anthony Volpe about the last week. Well, he's starting to clean that up. Hard shot right back up the middle on a heater. Another look at the swing. It's all about getting that foot down just a little bit earlier and let the hands work.
Here's Dominguez. He has struck out twice. Swings through the fastball, 0-1.
The Yankees would love to find a way to get Gavin Williams out of this game. Pitch count now at 89. Last time out, he threw over 100.
You know, he came into the game with an ERA of 4.58. You see his stuff, but it's kind of skewed because his last start against the Orioles, he kind of got hit around. 6 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs. On the previous starts, he pitched very well. You could see his stuff would indicate he's a better pitcher than 4.58.
Yeah, the stuff is electric. He's got a bright future.
Rip foul.
And for me, Michael, it's that pitch right there, the curveball that he's able to land for strikes and fastball counts, and then he's able to expand it out of the zone when he gets ahead in a count like Dominguez is behind here 0-2.
On Dominguez. Dominguez 1 for 11 in Tampa. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. Foul back and out of play. Bounced up there. Volpe stays put. The 1-2. High drive, right center field. There it goes. See ya. A long home run for Dominguez. A 2-run blast. Yankees on the board. It's 6-2 Cleveland.
.445 feet, no doubt about it. A 2-run shot for Dominguez, who finally timed that curveball down and in.
Reyes shows bunt, takes outside, so the Yankees finally get to Williams. Very much a ball game here in the 7th inning. Yankees down by 4, 6-2.
There's some action in the Guardians' pen.
Upstairs, 2-0.
The Guardians' bullpen has been worked a lot lately, just like the Yankees, so they have some guys that are down. Seawald getting loose.
That hits the outside corner, 2-1. He was throwing 100 miles an hour in the first inning. Now his fastball settled at about 95. Amped up for a start against the Yankees. 2-1. 2-2. Reyes getting the start with Grisham on paternity leave. Good chance that Grisham misses this entire 3-game set. Thursday's an off day before they start the weekend set against Toronto at Yankee Stadium. The 2-2. Reyes battling.
You mentioned Williams. The velocity is starting to decrease, and also he's losing location. Dominguez with that one swing of the bat. Yankees feel like they're right back in it.
Upstairs. Quite an at-bat for Reyes. Williams up to 103. In all likelihood, this is the final batter he'll face. Nobody out in the 7th inning. Volpe led off with a single. Dominguez with a long 2-run home run to right center. And the payoff. Got him on a breaking ball.
We'll take a look back at that home run for Dominguez. Curveball, middle of the plate and down, and no doubt about it, 445 feet. Well, when Dominguez catches it, he hits it a long way.
Second home run, RBIs number 10 and 11. So that's going to do it for Williams. As he surmised, Reyes' final batter vote will go to the bullpen. All right, time for today's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Ben Rice, missing his second straight game, left elbow contusion, but it's getting better. There's a possibility he could be used off the bench. Took some swings today. Saw him before the game. He was all smiles. So I think the x-ray that showed there was no break, John, really allayed his fears.
Yeah, you expect the worst when you get hit in a spot like that, so you get the x-ray, clear it up, and look pretty good in the cage today.
And guys, he took a full batting practice on the field, and he absolutely launched one to right center field. I talked to him right after he got out of the cage, and he said it is feeling dramatically better. A lot of the swelling is out. He has mostly the full range of motion back. So good news on Rice. Also, Jonathan Loaizaga throwing another live on Wednesday, and then he'll likely start a rehab assignment. And Clayton Beeter made his first rehab appearance the other day. 4 batters faced, 4 strikeouts. Aaron Boone said he could come into a role possibly in the bullpen. They're looking at him as a bullpen arm for this team.
Paul Sewald in as a reliever for Gavin Williams. Count 2-1 on Oswaldo Cabrera, 1 for 2 against Williams. Chases a pitch outside the zone. Cabrera down on strikes.
Well, Sewald signed as a free agent in January, and a guy who's been a closer in the past, more of a setup guy now, gets that little running fastball away. Doesn't overpower you. It's fastball sweeper. Like it's a little bit of movement, pitches to the corners.
Austin Wells takes inside. One and one. The relief pitcher ERA for the Guardians 3.48. That's 11th in baseball. And that one is looped to left field. Right there is Kwan. We put it away. But the Yankees finally get on the board. Jason Dominguez hits one over 440 feet for a 2-run home run. Yankees on the board for the 7th inning stretch.
Time for your Ford studio update. Bob and Jack with you, and Jose Ramirez continues to terrorize Yankees pitching.
When we talked about Ramirez on the pregame, we said the one thing Schmidt had to try and do was make sure he didn't have to face him with runners on base. He did. And the second time he faced Ramirez, he hit out of the ballpark. Manzardo fouled with back-to-back home runs. And Schmidt has been Mr. Consistency in his career, allowing 3 earned runs or fewer in 36 of his last 40 starts. Not tonight.
We'll break down all of that and more on the postgame. See you then.
Thank you, guys. 6-9-1 for Cleveland, 2-7-0 for the Yanks. Schmidt went 4. Jason Dominguez, a 2-run home run. Gavin Williams, 1 out into the 7th. And Jose Ramirez, well, he's Jose Ramirez with 4 ribbies. Santana takes outside from Gomez as we start the bottom of the 7th. Santana 0 for 3. One and one. First game of this 3-game set. Tomorrow, Warren against Bybee. So please note the start time for the game. 6:10. We're going to come on the air with coverage starting at 5, and then Wednesday, it's a 1:10 start for the final game of this 3-game set. Rodon against Luis Ortiz. Popped up. Volpe. 1 out. Hey fans, the Yes app has moved to the Gotham Sports app, your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more, free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit gothamsports.com to get streaming. Here is Arias. High fly ball left field. Dominguez, 2 outs. And here is Angel Martinez. Line back to the pitcher, then a double to right, and a fly ball to center. One and 0.
Aaron Boone would love to see Gomez finish up this 7th inning, 2 quick outs. Eat up 3 innings out of that bullpen.
Two 2-0 on Martinez. Nine hits for the Guardians, 7 for the Yanks. And a base hit past the diving Chisholm. 2-out single.
Martinez has been an impressive hitter tonight. His 2nd hit, but he's hit a line drive right back to the pitcher. He's hit a line drive to center field. He's hit a line drive down the right field line. Now a hot shot right past Jazz Chisholm.
So here's Bo Naylor. Well, if you're a young catcher, you're in the right spot here. Vogt, former catcher manager, Sandy Alomar Jr., catching coach. Austin Hedges is his backup. Hedges, who doesn't hit much, is considered just a genius behind the plate. Pretty good resources for a young catcher.
It's good to see Sandy Alomar, first base coach. I mean, he's been here forever, obviously, as a player. Yankee fans remember him back in the heyday with the Indians, and just a mainstay in this organization and just a great baseball guy.
Grounded to first, tough hop, but grabbed there by Goldschmidt, steps on the bag, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, 1 man left. We go to the 8th. Cleveland over New York. Sewald came on to get the final 2 outs of the 7th. He stays in. He'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Yankee order. Here's Aaron Judge, 1 for 2 with a walk. And that one is lined to left field. Coming on as Kwan dives and makes the play. Three straight Gold Gloves.
We spotlighted him, the open to our show, what he can do offensively and defensively. And a big part of his game is covering some ground out in left field. Times his leap perfectly, or his dive perfectly.
You know what else he did really well? While he's in the dive, he maneuvers his glove hand so he doesn't hurt himself. A lot of people fall on the glove and they can hurt their wrist. Bellinger 1 for 3.
Take another look at it.
In control of his body. Big cut by Bellinger. Sewald lost the closer role in Arizona last season as he posted a 4.31 ERA. Smith and Cantillo warming in their bullpen right now. He's 34 years old. And he signed a one-year, $7 million deal with Cleveland in January. High pop-up on the left side. Kwan. For out number 2. He's the last 3 putouts for the Guardians. Goldschmidt 1 for 2 with a walk. Again, he's on base twice today. He is 8 for 19 on the road trip. Ground ball, and it hits third, and then caroms into left field. Goldschmidt rounds first. He'll stop right there as Kwan comes up with it. So a perfectly placed single that bangs off the bag.
Well, it has been that type of start to the year for Paul Goldschmidt. Even when you come around an off-speed pitch and you hook it down the line, it hits the bag out of the reach of Jose Ramirez. And very smartly, Paul Goldschmidt hangs at first base, down by 4. Looking for base runners.
Here is Jazz Chisholm Jr. 0 for 3 in this one. And there's a strike, 0-2.
Well, when you're struggling and Jazz is going through it right now, you feel like you're behind in the count every time you walk up to the plate. Quickly 0-2.
Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A 2-run home run for Chisholm. And it's 6-4 Cleveland.
Well, that is how quickly things can change if you're Jazz Chisholm and the New York Yankees going through a tough stretch behind in the count 0-2, but with one swing and one flick of the wrist, got a 2-run ball game.
Just feels like this entire game the Yankees have been lying in wait, and boom, it's now 6-4 with that swing.
I mean, that just shows you how talented Jazz Chisholm is. I mean, that's just no stride, all hands. Ball jumps off his bat. Just reacting to the baseball, and Yankees are going to give him a finish.
Little Euro step during the NBA playoffs as the Guardians go to the bullpen. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Untuckit, find the perfect fit today at Untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. Here is Cantillo, and he deals high to Volpe. So Joey Cantillo, his 9th game. The number's good. Volpe 1 for 3 in this one. Works the count 2-0.
Jazz taking a look at his swing, and the one thing the Yankees offensively, they will fight you to the end. We've seen that all year. Cantillo trying to do Yankees a little favor here, behind in the count 3-0.
The lefty got his first big league save yesterday in Pittsburgh, second big league season, 24 years old. That one just hit the outside corner. Volpe was going to first, thought it was ball 4. That will not curry favor with Nick Marley.
Take another look at it. That's off the plate. 3-0 changeup, an interesting pitch selection.
And there's ball 4. So Volpe works a walk, and now that brings up Dominguez as a tying run, but he will bat from his weaker side, the right side, against the lefty. Long home run last time up from the left side, but he swings and misses at the change. The only other righty the Yankees have on the bench is Oswald Peraza. And the young lefty deals. It almost seems, John, that they pitched around Volpe to get to Dominguez from the right side.
Very dangerous if they did that in a 2-run game, but you see the numbers against lefties and righties.
And he strikes out on the fastball. But the Yankees creep closer. 2 runs on 2 hits. The big blow off the bat of Jazz Chisholm. He was 4 for his last 48 coming into that at bat. But the blast makes it a 2-run game. Time to name that Yankee, a former teammate of John's. I'm told to give you a clue. Dominated Pedro.
Enrique Wilson.
Let's see. You got it.
Enrique Wilson would always play against Pedro Martinez.
He's a good player.
Switch hitter, good utility guy, good role player on anybody's team. Give you a little bit of pop.
Hyundai scoreboard, bottom of the 8th inning. Cleveland 6, Yankees 4. And Rocchio gets plunked by Ryan Yarbrough, and he is in pain.
This does not look good.
I think Vogt went out to the home plate umpire and said, you should give a warning.
He's asking for something. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not intentional on the first pitch in a 2-run game.
I don't understand how you warn there, John. Why would he hit the batter of a 2-run deficit?
I think they're awarding him first base. Maybe they thought that he was trying to bunt and it was a strike, but now they're saying he was hit by the pitch. They're going to award him first base and explain it to Aaron. Squares around the bunt. They pulled it back.
That's always a fear with the bunt because your hand is right there. He's going to stay in the game.
It's that cut fastball riding in, gets him in his throwing hand.
Now the Yankees look like they're challenging this. Now, for those that don't know the rule, if you offer a pitcher swing at a pitch that you get hit with, that supersedes the hit by pitch, so they could send him back to the plate. Well, you might not hear it over our air, but they confirmed that it's a hit by pitch that he did not offer. That was a quick review. So runner on first now. Here's Kwan. Yankees trying to keep it right here at 6-4. And a strike. Yarborough ate up some innings in his first outing in Tampa when Will Warren was knocked out early. Oh, 2.
Stephen Kwan's been all over the field tonight. He's been on base 3 times, a walk, a base hit, and a double. Seeing the great defense out in left field.
One and 2. Rocchio leads off first, held there by Goldschmidt. The tall lefty sets. And the pitch to Kwan. To right field. Reyes makes a catch. He's going to fire to first, but not in time, as Rocchio really strayed far off the bag. So 1 down. Let's take the optimum, don't take slow for an answer replay.
Well, this is with the ALCS against Luke Weaver. The bat flip. Baseball went a long way.
And so Jhonkensy Noel is going to pinch hit for Jones. You know, if you look back at that 5-game set, it was a really, really good series and very well played and tight and everything. But the Yankees, you know, 5 in a best-of-7 doesn't seem like it's a great series, but it was.
Yeah, every game seemed to be entertaining. A lot of home runs.
And big home runs. So here's Jhonkensy Noel. The man they call Big Christmas. So the Guardians are down to the last out in the bottom of the 9th inning. In that game 3, crushed a tying 2-run home run off of Luke Weaver, and the Guardians ended up winning in 10. The Yankees won the last 2 games to win the pennant. One and 1. So it's Cade Smith who's going to try to close this out. Not Emmanuel Clase, who blew the save yesterday against Pittsburgh.
Well, you watch Noel and his setup and his stance. Hands are low on his back hip. He kind of closes up, waiting for that ball somewhere on the inner half.
Popped up. Goldschmidt puts it away for the second out.
A fast and reliable connection backed by a 100% U.S.-based workforce. So you get the best customer service experience possible. Spectrum.
So here is the dangerous Jose Ramirez. 4 RBIs, a 3-run home run, an RBI single. So Rocchio now taken out of the game. The hand is probably throbbing. And Schneemann will be the pinch runner. Up and away. 1-0. You look ahead to the 9th inning for the Yankees. Due up 8-9-1. Reyes, Cabrera, and Wells. The Yankees were down 6-0 in this game. It's 6-4 now, bottom of the 8th inning. Being very careful with Ramirez, 2-1. Manzardo is on deck. Fly ball left field. Dominguez puts it away, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? Well, John, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam.
Well, we just mentioned Stephen Kwan and how he's been all over the place tonight. Here's a stolen base. Going to score all the way from second on a base hit to right field, and the athletic slide, getting his left hand into home plate.
And they turn to Cade Smith. See his numbers this year. Last year he had a 1.88 ERA. And with Reyes due up, they will send up Ben Rice to pinch hit against Cade Smith.
Good to see Ben Rice healthy enough to pinch hit in this spot. Going to face Cade Smith, who has worked a lot for the Guardians. He's got a big fastball, a split, and a sweeper.
Ground ball. Arias backhands and fires to first to get Rice. Well, stay tuned after the final out of tonight's W.B. Mason Yankees postgame, as Bob and Jack will have highlights and analysis. Meredith gets player interviews in the clubhouse, and we'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Well, that was Schneemann who went to second, and Arias took over at short after they took Rocchio out. So Schneemann makes that play.
Ben Rice, first pitch swinging on a split finger. Cabrera takes a strike, down by 2.
And there's a base hit. So just like that, the Yankees will have the tying run come to the plate in a game that they were trailing 6-0. Second hit of the night for Cabrera.
Just staying on the split finger and driving it the other way. Yankees looking for a base runner. They have it. Got Wells coming up with his power. The captain waiting on deck.
Here's Wells. Well, since last year, including the playoffs, Smith has given up 2 home runs in 96 1/3 innings. Dylan Moore last June, and Stanton in Game 4 of the ALCS.
Back-to-back fastballs right down Broadway.
Upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. Tomorrow night at 6:10, Wednesday 1:10, Thursday's an off day, then 3 against the Blue Jays at the stadium. There's Stanton. 1-2. Wells is 0 for 4. Strike three, and Wells can't believe it.
Nick Marley behind the plate. Aaron Boone's not happy. Austin Wells not happy. Looked like a good pitch.
So here's Judge. 2 outs. The tying run at the plate. Yankees down 6-4 here in the ninth. And a strike.
Here's that last pitch to Austin Wells.
Yep, that's a strike.
Yep.
Yankees down to their final strike. 0-2 on Judge. Here's the first pitch to Judge that was called a strike, and that is not.
Boy, Cade Smith, though, he comes right at you with that fastball.
He shakes off Naylor. Runner goes, no throw. So that's defensive indifference. Takes away the force. And the count 1-2 on Judge. 2 for 3 against Cade Smith. And he's 1 for 3 tonight with a walk. One-two. Swing and a miss. And that'll do it. As the Guardians beat the Yankees 6-4 in the first game of this 3-game set. Big night for Ramirez. Gavin Williams. A good start for the Guardians. But the Yankees had their chances, and this was the final one.
Yeah, the Yankees got the big man up to the plate with one swing of the bat looking to tie it up. But Cade Smith, boy, he executed. That's a perfectly spotted split finger fastball to get the swing and a miss.
Yankees go down 6-4. We'll have more when we get back in the postgame after that.
When you come to Cleveland and you play the Guardians, you're going to have to deal with Jose Ramirez, and he had a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That's our drive of the game, brought to you by Cadillac.
It took 2 hours and 42 minutes. Williams the win. Smith his first save. Schmidt his first loss. Dominguez and Chisholm each with 2-run home runs. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Jared Ames Bosnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees continue this 3-game set in Cleveland. Coverage will begin at 5. Mark that time, 5 o'clock on Yes, with first pitch coming shortly after 6. Again, the final score of the Guardians 6 and the Yankees 4. For John Flaherty and Meredith Moragovitz, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from Progressive Field here in Cleveland, Ohio. Now let's go to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, who are standing by in our Yes Network studios with the postgame show. Guys?
And it's great to have you with us on the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Game 1 of 3 between the Yanks and Guardians in the books, and Cleveland wins it 6-4. Little late rally by the Yanks to get within 2, but too big of an early hole dug by Clark Schmidt, and some fateful pitches to Jose Ramirez. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, suspense and drama at the end, as you mentioned. Aaron Judge ends up striking out with the chance to hit a 2-run homer that might have tied the game. But this game really tilted earlier, Bob, as you mentioned. Schmidt giving up 4 runs in the 3rd inning. We talked on our pregame about how Ramirez had success against him. 5 for 11 coming into tonight's contest. So if you were Schmidt, do your best when you faced Ramirez to not allow any runners on base. That didn't happen, and they also put a pitch in a location, Bob, where Ramirez could do some damage. That turns into a 3-run homer. After you give up a home run, what do you want to do as a pitcher? You want to get ahead of the next guy. Manzardo goes back-to-back. The Guardians built up a 6-0 lead. The Yankees did cut it to 6-4, and as we said, add some intrigue in the 9th. But it was that early outburst against Schmidt that decided this game.
Let's take a look at what happened early with Schmidt in this one. Highlights brought to you by your local Ford stores. And he started off okay, though, Jack, in that bottom of the first inning. Had to throw 20 pitches to get through it.
Yeah, he gets Nolan Jones right there with the sinker, and now bottom of the 2nd. He had a good inning. He gets Arias on the sweeper. And Bob, you see Naylor swinging over that cutter, scoreless first 2 innings.
But then bottom of the third, he starts to run into trouble. Brian Rocchio leading off. He goes the other way and just going to drop in front of Dominguez, who didn't have a real good route there.
Yeah, it looks as if Dominguez went back on that ball, and that results in a couple of runners on base as soon as Kwan sends this one into center field. So runners on first and third, no outs. And you could even in this situation, Bob, think about, should you have walked Ramirez early in the game? I know, but he is their mainstay. He makes it a moot point by taking that low breaking pitch out, 3-0 Guardians.
And then right after that, there's that swing. Schmidt trying to fill up the strike zone, and he got too much of it.
It came inside with a sinker to Manzardo. He sends it back out. His 7th of the season made it 4-0 Cleveland. And then kind of a funky play right there with a runner on third. Rocchio's bat breaks. And then as you see, Jazz Chisholm goes for the baseball. He's a little concerned about the flying bat. That made it 5-0 on the RBI hit for Rocchio.
Well, certainly not the night that Schmidt had hoped for. He goes just 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So the swing and miss stuff, Jack, was certainly there. But again, just too much hard contact.
We talked on our pregame about who Clark Schmidt has been for the Yankees. Coming into tonight, his last 40 starts, he had allowed 3 earned runs or fewer in 36 of them. That is a pitching coach and a manager's dream. Reliability. You know what you're going to get from your pitcher. Tonight, that wasn't the case with Schmidt, and that's because, Bob, he got some traffic on the bases when the best hitter from Cleveland was coming up. There was a period in this game where in a 12-batter sequence, Schmidt allowed 8 of those batters to reach base, and 5 of them scored. So as reliable as he has been throughout his career in terms of limiting the opposition, and as reliable as the Yankees need him to be, tonight against the Guardians, it was a messier outing for him.
His counterpart tonight was Gavin Williams, and he is the optimum player of the game, keeping the Yankees off the board till late. We'll start top of the first. Cody Bellinger up with 2 on and nobody out. He's going to hit one to third base, and the Guardians turn the 5-6-3 double play. Austin Wells advanced to third on that double play, and then after walking Goldschmidt, Jazz takes an inside fastball called strike. Top of the second, he just continues mowing him down.
Very impressed with what Williams was able to do tonight. Not only the heater, which he featured right there to get Reyes in the 3rd inning, but the breaking pitches as well. Look at that sweeper in the 6th. He gets Aaron Judge for the 1st out. After a Bellinger single, he is going to get Goldschmidt for strike 3 with the sweeper, and then he gets Jazz on the fastball to end the inning.
That's the one that got him right there. Jason Dominguez jumping on that hanging breaking ball.
Yeah, Dominguez hit that 445 feet, his 2nd of the season. The Yankees showed a little bit of life there. They were down 6-2 after retiring Reyes. Williams was done, and now we go to the 8th inning. Against Seawald, Jazz Chisholm needed that. He had been 4 for his last 48. He hits a 2-run homer, going up there and getting that sinker. So the Yankees trailed 6-4 at that point.
So then you go top 9, and they've got the potential tying run at the plate, but he locks up Austin Wells right there for out number 2.
Yeah, the Yankees didn't like that call. Smith gets the call on the splitter. We had a lot of shots in the 9th inning of Aaron Boone barking about that strike zone. There was a call that went against Judge during his at-bat. That splitter was in the zone, and Judge ended up swinging over it against a pitcher who, quite honestly, and Smith just doesn't give up home runs. Only 2 across his last 96 innings.
Every starter had at least 1 hit, except for Austin Wells, who went 0 for 5. Yanks go 0-5 with runners in scoring position and leave 7 men on base. Jack and I will take a quick break here on the WB Mason postgame, and when we come back, we're going to hear from Aaron Boone about the outcome of this one. Guardians hanging on to win it 6-4.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Well, the Yankees put 2 on the board in the 7th, 2 more in the 8th to make it a game 6-4, but ultimately fall short to the Guardians 6-4. Clark Schmidt only getting through 4 innings, allowed 5 runs over that span. Let's hear from Aaron Boone now in the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, what were you seeing with Clark out there tonight?
I felt like a little off command-wise. You know, the pitch to Ramirez, I think he's just trying to get a little tighter to him, probably a little higher, drop down and in. Not to a terrible spot, but, you know, one where a lefty can drop it down, and Ramirez did a really good job of keeping it fair, but I just thought he was a little bit, you know, just struggled a little bit with having that next level command where putting it really, really wanted it.
And then on the flip side, Williams really kept the offense at bay. What made him so tough?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's a big fastball. And then, you know, the mix with his secondary, you know, whether it was curveball, slider, mixing in some cutters too. I thought he threw some good cutters to our lefties. But he mixed enough with that big fastball and breaking balls, got us to expand a little bit, and just you couldn't put it together quite enough against them.
Do you think Clark was having a difficulty gripping the ball? Looked like he was going to his hands a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was obviously pretty breezy out there. You know, not an overly cold night, obviously, but I'm not sure.
On the bunt attempt or the pullback, what were you guys contending? That he pulled it back or that he got hit?
Well, they end up calling it a hit.
Right.
No, so I thought maybe it was at a spot where maybe his hand and be in the 8th inning there, you know, because there seemed to be some confusion. I thought we should do it.
What do you think of the swing to Mingus put on that ball?
Ooh, really good. You know, he had some tough at bats against Williams there his first couple times. You know, he chewed him up pretty good, and then he hammered. I mean, that's a really good swing on a breaking ball that, you know, turns into a no doubter to right center and gave us a little bit of life. And obviously Jazz hits one, and we give ourselves a chance there in the end. So like the way the guys kind of hung in there and hung with it and gave ourselves a chance. Just couldn't finish it off tonight.
Aaron, you mentioned Jazz. He's been grinding at the plate lately. He was down 0-2 in that count, managed to hit that one out. Is that something that can just maybe spark him a little bit offensively?
Yeah, you know, I mean, couple good at bats tonight. You know, Santana makes the really great diving play that, you know, is a little bit of one of those early in the game, you know, game-changing plays. That ball gets by, it might get down in the corner. We're second and third there, no outs. Instead, it turns into a line-out double play. So, you know, I feel like he's been hitting the ball hard. He's been hitting the ball on the screws a fair amount. There's been some swing and miss there and some punch, but you know, he's so talented. He'll get it going and get hot, and he can really, you know, with what he does on the bases and the power, you know, can really get it going.
How tough of a play is that for Jazz when the half of the bat is coming at him?
You know, we've seen, I said this, I don't know if you'll go all year and see where a broken bat affects a play. We've seen it twice now in the last couple of days. Caminero at third on the Judge broken bat, like, so obviously, you know, it scared him out of there. And, you know, I've been there before, you know, as a third baseman. I don't know if I ever had a play actually affected, but seeing that bat come at you, it startles you and can make you flinch. So kind of to see 2 of those in the course of a couple days, pretty unique.
Bryce being able to pinch it, do you expect him back in the lineup tomorrow?
Yeah. He had a good day.
Do you still consider Clark someone who's still acclimating to the regular season? Do you feel like he's still kind of shaking off?
I don't know. I mean, you know, he really didn't miss a lot of time from throwing. So, you know, that said, it's his second start, and he's not all the way built up. But, no, I feel like he's in a pretty good spot. And he's pitched a lot between spring training to now to be in this position. So, you know, obviously big mistake hurt him. I like the way he buckled down where, you know, the game could have really got blown open, and he runs through and gets 2 big outs, getting Ramirez and Manzardo the next time around. So, you know, knock this one off and build for the next one.
Schmidt building from 73 pitches last time out to 80 today. But, Jack, as you heard Aaron Boone, just the stuff wasn't crisp enough today.
Yeah, he didn't have the feel for his pitches that I think he even had in the first start, Bob. And you heard Aaron Boone say, well, this is his second time out, and it's going to get better. I think what happened with Ramirez is the first time he faced him in the first inning, he threw a sweeper, he got a strike, then he retired him on a sinker, he got him the flyouts. Now the second time he's facing him with runners on base, that sweeper is so vital to what he's trying to do. Second pitch of the at-bat, he throws it, but he just puts it in a position where a hitter like Ramirez, you put that down and in where he can just drop the head of the bat on it, you're probably asking yourself for problems. He got some problems. But why did he go to the sweeper? Because last year in 70 plate appearances that ended with that pitch, he only gave up 2 home runs. So Clarke Schmidt needs to have that pitch. He just happened to miss location with it. And by the way, Boone is right. It was 5-0, Bob. It could have become 8-0. Yep. He did bulldoze his way through that 4th inning and give the Yankees a chance.
We got to take another break. Still more to come on the WB Mason postgame as we recap this one. Yanks trying to rally from behind, down 6-0. They get to 6-4. Then that was it. Got more coming up after this.
Brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
This day in Yankees history presented by Prevagen, made for your brain. April 21st, 1912, Yankees played an exhibition against the Giants to benefit the survivors of the Titanic. In 2010, Phil Hughes took a no-hitter into the 8th inning in Oakland. And in 2012, Yankees overcame a 9-0 deficit to defeat the Red Sox 15-9 at Fenway Park. Tonight, they were trying to rally from 6-0 down. They got to within 6-4 before losing at 6-4 ultimately. Jazz Chisholm Jr. in the 8th inning coming up with a 2-run shot. Let's hear from Jazz.
Jazz Williams really kept the offense quiet early on. What was making him so tough?
I mean, I feel like his team was playing really good defense. He was hitting all the spots. I mean, he was pitching great today. I mean, I think that's why he's one of their best pitchers. You know, he was out there. He was doing everything that he'd studied and everything before he came into the game tonight to battle us, and he did his thing.
What's going through your mind in that, I believe, 3rd inning, fourth inning, when you hit that rocket and was caught right away by the first base?
I don't think I could say that on TV. But, I mean, it's just been unlucky. That's it.
With that being said, how validating was that swing you took later in the game on the 0-2 count?
I mean, it was very validating, you know, finally getting out there, you know, still hitting the ball hard, but finally getting it to fall somewhere, even though it's not in the park, you know. Trying to get the base hits as well, you know, not only home runs. So just, it was very relieving, but at the same time, you know, still got to keep on working and keep grinding through it.
Where do things stand with your appeal right now?
I don't know. I don't think we've finished it yet. I think it's set for like another day, a week or something. I don't know, but it's around there. Just focus on playing baseball right now, honestly.
Jazz, how tough is it when, you know, ball meets bat and you see the bat coming at you as the ball is coming at you?
I mean, that's a tough one, you know. I want to make every play out there for my guy, but at the same time, you don't want to die, you know. You got a sharp object coming your way. I mean, I've seen guys get stabbed with broken bats in person, so I know how bad the injury can be and everything like that. And like the toughest thing to do as a baseball player right now is stay on the field. So at the same time, we got to protect ourselves, you know, when we're playing out there, especially when stuff like that's happening.
Have you had a play like that before, where it's?
I've actually got hit before by a broken bat in the minor leagues, so that's why I'm a little bit more cautious about going after balls when the bat's in the same lane as it.
Where were you when that happened? Were you on?
I was in high. No, I was in high playing shortstop.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they got me in my calf, but you know, like I said, that's why we're a little bit more cautious now. You know, I've seen it happen. I saw it in Miami a couple times happen on some plays, so just more of a safety caution more than anything.
So avoid flying bats. That's one thing for Jazz to do. The other one, too, is getting the bat on the ball. He has been doing that. I think that line drive that Santana gloved was kind of emblematic of some of his season. Is that fair to say?
It is fair to say. And we gave the numbers earlier. Before the home run, he had been 4 for his last 48. But obviously, when the Yankees look at Jazz's at-bats, they dig a little deeper. And he's actually been barreling up the baseball at a higher percentile than more than 80% of the players in Major League Baseball. He's just not getting the results that he wants. It gets very frustrating when you think you have a good at-bat, and then, for instance, you hit into a double play. But just like we talked about, would the home run that Bellinger hit yesterday help propel him? I think Chisholm has to hope that at-bat that he had. He's sitting there 0-2. He gets a sinker. He puts a good swing on it. Can he take that going forward in the rest of this series and do some good things?
So Jazz had a 2-run homer in the 8th. Jason Dominguez had a 2-run homer in the 7th inning. That put the Yankees on the board. Let's hear from Jason.
Jason, just take me through your approach there in that 7th inning.
I already had 2 at-bats, but I swing on bad pitches, and that at-bat was just trying to compete, trying to fight in some pitches and get a good one to hit.
What made Williams so tough?
Huh?
What made Williams so tough?
I saw that fastball that kind of sneak on you, and those breaking balls, good below separation.
You faced a tough lefty in your final at bat there. Just how are you seeing it from the right side?
For the right side, lately I've been seeing the ball well, but take a lot less at bats from that side.
What can you do to finish a night with a home run like you did and like Jazz did? What can that do for you going forward?
So can you repeat that?
To have a home run and the kind of contact you did in your last at bat, what kind of momentum can that build for the next few games?
I don't know, but I guess like when you're having good at bats and you got good results, that carries you through the following games.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear from Clark Schmidt, giving up 5 runs early in this ball game as the Guardians built a 6-0 lead. Schmidt is coming up next.
In part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
We're back with our turning point of the game, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And, Jack, let's go back to that home run ball that Schmidt served up to Ramirez in the 3rd.
Yeah, second pitch of the at-bat. You see where Wells wanted to see the pitch. You see where the sweeper ends up, and it's in a precarious spot to throw to a hitter as accomplished as Jose Ramirez, and a hitter who has had as much success against Schmidt as he has. John Flaherty did a great job breaking down that swing. Ramirez got that foot down, kind of lunged after that, but it was a successful lunge as he hit that ball for a 3-run homer.
And as you said, he's had a lot of success against Clark Schmidt. He's 6 for 13 against him, 2 doubles, a home run, and 5 runs batted in. Let's hear from Schmidt about his outing.
Aaron said earlier he felt like your command was just maybe a little bit off. How would you evaluate tonight?
Yeah, I would say obviously the walks are frustrating. Beyond that, I felt like I made some good pitches. I think, the Ramirez one, you got to tip your cap on. Really good hitter. I was trying to go down and in with the slider and got to my area that I was trying to get to, and he put a good swing on it. So you tip your cap on that. And then beyond that, I would say the walks are frustrating. But overall, I thought I was getting to good areas when I was competing and in my counts.
That 4th inning really could have, spiraled a little bit. How were you able to essentially keep it from getting out of hand there?
Yeah, just competing, trying to stick my feet in the ground and not let him get any more there. I know that, obviously I didn't do a great job at giving my team a chance to win tonight, but, when you're in those situations, if you let it can really get unraveled and get out of hand quick. So did my best to lock in and not let any more cash in.
Just your 2nd start of the year, what do you take away from this?
Felt good. I felt healthy. Thought the stuff was really good. Velocity was good. So I got a lot of swing and miss, a lot of strikeouts. That's obviously a positive, but the walks are frustrating. So, something that you will work on in the sides in between. But beyond that, I think, we did overall a good job of limiting damage and getting swing and miss where we needed to. And so just take it from there and move on to the next one.
What were you thinking right after seeing the bat shatter and the ball and the bat heading toward Jazz?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought it was an out. As soon as you see it and you see the broken bat, you're like, oh, let's go. Weak contact. You're trying to induce right there. You're trying to get him to put the ball on the ground or something weak to the pull side with that pitch, and it's just frustrating. I mean, it's a game, so it's the way the game goes sometimes. Sometimes the ball bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't, and in that situation, it seemed they found a hole right there, and I felt like a few of their, some of their soft singles that kind of landed in front of the outfielders found some holes, but that's the way this game is sometimes, so just you got to keep it moving.
Has that happened before in a start for you, where fielders had to duck away from a bat in the last?
Yeah, no, I've never seen that one. That was the first one, but like I said, it's a game, so you kind of see everything new, and it seems like something new always happens in this game. You continue to see things that you don't see, so just another new thing that I've seen in this game.
Do you feel like you're still building up a bit at this point, or is it more about refining command right now?
Yeah, I would say a little bit of both. Obviously, continuing to get the pitch count up, and I think we were hit the 80 mark today. So yeah, definitely building up in that sense, and also just continuing to. I think this is probably like third or fourth start, so continuing to treat it as. I mean, obviously it's game situations, and we're out there trying to win ball games, but I'm also trying to refine myself and sharpen up and just get better each time I go out there.
Well, Schmidt, with your Genesis sounds of the game and in describing his outing, feeling good about a lot of things, but as with Clark Schmidt, got to avoid that one big inning and got to find a way to maybe get outs a little quicker to get deeper in a game.
He did have swing and miss stuff, and he was bothered by the walks, which he should be. He talked about that at bat against Ramirez and didn't have the location exactly where he wanted, and that 3-run homer was a backbreaker. And I think you go back to what happened before the start, Bob. You know that he sat down with Austin Wells, his catcher, and Matt Blake, the pitching coach. They know who Ramirez is. They also know that Ramirez has had success against Schmidt, and you're telling yourself, do whatever you can to not let Ramirez beat you. But it happens in the third inning that he needed to get him out with a couple of runners on base, unable to do that. So Schmidt learns from that going forward, but as he said, command's got to be better. You don't want to be giving free passes up. That's going to get you out of the game faster, and it's also going to put you in trouble with traffic on the bases.
Got to take another break here on the WB Mason postgame. More coming up, and then Jack and I will look ahead to Game 2 on Tuesday night in Cleveland. Stick around.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at Genesis.com.
After we wrap up here on the postgame, stay tuned for an all-new episode of Sportico Sports Business and see an exclusive interview with Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred, plus a conversation on competitive balance and a look at the league's highest payrolls. Catch the new episode of Sportico Sports Business presented by Genius Sports tonight after the Yankees coverage right here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. We will take one more break, and when we come back, a look ahead to Game 2 of the series in Cleveland. Will Warren looking for a bounce-back appearance. Jack and I will talk about that coming up next. Two more games to go in Cleveland. Your probables film courtesy of Nissan. Will Warren against Tanner Bybee tomorrow night. Wednesday's a little afternoon delight. Carlos Rodon against Luis Ortiz. For Bybee, Jack, he's had 2 good starts, 2 not-so-good starts. And for Will Warren, coming off a rough start in which he couldn't make it out of the second inning, just throwing too many pitches.
Yeah, against the Rays, he struggled, couldn't locate his pitches. He was approaching 40 pitches in an inning. And, of course, Aaron Boone said, well, I've got to get my young pitcher out of there. So should be some lessons learned for him in that start. You go back 2 starts ago, Bob, against the Giants. It was 5 solid innings for him. He got his first major league win, but the Yankees need to see him stack up starts like that. Be consistent. He's got the stuff to get major league hitters out. They're hitting .232 against him this year, but it's the walks that have gotten him in trouble. He doesn't even have a 2-to-1 to strikeout to walk ratio. It's 16 Ks, 9 walks. Have to be better with the command and have to show more consistency as a young pitcher. You want to entrench yourself in that rotation.
So Warren will be looking to bounce back, as will the Yankees after falling to the Guardians 6-4. We thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night, starting at 5 o'clock for the batting practice show, 5:30 pregame, first pitch a little after 6 o'clock. Until then, take care.